we live in. If there was
my question's really simple. That wasn't my question. Let me finish my question for you again. And then
it's still on top.
No. You're not answering,
It's
Jim.
still on top.
You're not answering, Jim. So let me give you the question real simply. If the pressure is getting lower, the higher you get, how do you know that it's not getting to zero before your container is necessary?
I know that because we have air pressure within the system we live in.
Right. So we would agree that, right? It goes from very low, the higher up you are, to what is it, 14 point something PSI roughly at sea level, right? Influx, I would agree with that, constantly changing. It's decreasing going up. So if we're looking at a graph of air pressure and comparing that to altitude, and we go, look, there seems to be a relationship there where that line is dropping. How do you know that that line doesn't reach zero or that 17?
We are breathing air and the dynamic system is flowing. That's how we know.
He's not answering the question, is he?
No, he's not. He's not.
I answered the question. That's how we know. We know because we're breathing air and the system is working.
That's not what he asked.
That's not what I'm asking. That's not what I'm asking, Jen. It's really simple, right? The pressure as you go vertically.
So I would. The only way I could know for 100% certain, I would have to go up there and measure it.
You would, wouldn't you? That's a really intelligent comment, Jen. I really appreciate you saying that.
Go up there
you would need to go, so I can make sure that I got what you said correct. You said I would need to go up there to measure that. Yes. Excellent. That's a really intelligent comment.
I am 90% certain, though. Or even 99%.
But you don't know.
I could even say I'm 99% certain. So the 1% is just going up there. It would confirm. I believe that. Yeah. It would confirm that for me. So I know.
That's an interesting thing, isn't it? You've gone from a position of going, I know that gas pressure requires a container to now.
Absolutely correct. It's without a doubt. The only reason why I give you that 1% is because I haven't been up there. So by the logic, what's the word? The process of deduction, the law is high pressure goes to low pressure. Okay, so I know that for sure. Do I know that 100% the barrier is there? I've always said it has to be because we're breathing air. That's what I've always said, and that's what every flat earther you will hear say. It has to be there. By process of elimination.
But it doesn't, does it? Because that's what we're reasoning right now, which is the pressure could, as it's dropping, just get to zero before a container is necessary. So if you were flat and you had this edge, you could have walls, but you might not need a top.
That would be completely wrong because you need to have a container to have pressure. You look up the definition of pressure. It tells you gases colliding with the container.
You're not demonstrating an understanding of my question.
There's no getting away from it. There's no getting away from. You can't have gas pressure without a container. There's no getting away from that. There is none. You can never get away from that.
We just got there with you,
That is the law of nature.
I know you're not aware of it, but I think most other people in this room are aware of the fact that you just walked all the way to the point of accepting that you don't know that that's necessarily the case because you haven't measured it, and then came all the way back to a certain.
I haven't been up there. That's correct. I haven't been up there to confirm the barrier.
Kind of stuck now, mate.
I haven't been up there.
So he has no evidence.
Ian, what do you think of the ISS? That's up there.
The ISS is most certainly not up there because unbeknownst to this lot, and I've said it so many times, for the people who will be listening to this, in 1962, the NASA and the military set up several megaton bombs, 1962, known as Operation Starfish Prime, aka Fishbowl. At the end of that event in 1962, it left behind a radiation belt more lethal, 100 times more lethal than the Van Allen radiation belt. This belt is at 247 miles from the Earth's surface. This is where the ISS is roaming at the moment. It's supposedly operating, hang on, don't interrupt me. It's operating supposedly in this zone. Supposedly the ISS is 251 to 253 miles off the Earth's surface. And in there, it's instantaneous death because the REMs that are there are, 250,000 REMs. Now it's at 25,000 rems. You're still going to die.
I just got a
I
question.
mean,
for
I'm
you,
not
Jim.
saying
What-
the height. Ian. I'm just saying,
Yes.
is there something up there that's looking at the edge?
Yeah, now, this is what I'm saying. This is why I said it. The ISS, as people think it is, it's not up there. There is something up there that is flying around. It is not the ISS. And can you imagine seeing something with your naked eye the size of an American football pitch, 250 miles up in the sky? You couldn't see it.
Yeah,
You
you can.
couldn't see an aeroplane at that high. You couldn't.
I've seen it.
If it was shining bright enough, I could, I think.
You wouldn't be able to see it.
I've seen it.
You wouldn't be able to see
Jaren's seen it, Jin, you know.
Yeah, I don't believe that for 1 second. And a light does not an ISS make.
So, all right, can you prove it wasn't the ISS?
We don't
I saw?
believe you, Pyro.
Sorry?
Can you prove it wasn't the ISS I saw?
I can't
Did you
prove
take a
that,
picture?
Yeah, I
How?
most certainly can.
All
Did
the
you take a
information proves
fucking
it's the
picture?
ISS.
My statement earlier
You ain't-
shoots down the absurd.
Can you prove that though?
Don't
Can
believe
your
him.
statement
I
prove it?
can. It's there. It's a fact.
No, it's not. It's just a
Where's your
statement.
evidence?
It's a fact that the radiation is there. It's a fact that
What does
Operation
it? What does
Starfish
radiation
Prime
have to do with the ISS flying
happened.
around?
It's a fact
Wait.
that Sir Bernard Lovell
It has nothing to do with why.
said that the radiation there is 100 times more.
That has
lethal
nothing to
than
do with the
two
ISS.
Van Allen radiation belts, and that
Wait.
any living organism or foolish astronaut to venture there would be instantaneously killed.
That doesn't prove anything about the ISS. Why do you keep
cannot
changing?
be- The ISS cannot be there.
Can
and
you
it
remain
is not
focused? Can you
This
remain
is
focused,
this is
Jen?
highly
No,
this is
he
high-
can't.
This is, but this is a conspiracy theorist mindset. I swear you
not
can
a
use this to
conspiracy
diagnose people on
theorist
Facebook,
mindset.
and that
Do
is
not insult me.
Get-
Do not slander.
Jin, you didn't want to be interrupted, so
Shut.
don't interrupt others.
Yeah, well, I'm going to interrupt you. If you're
Jin,
going to stop
Jin,
calling.
Jin. Hey,
not
Jin, shush
insult
now,
me.
buddy. Hey, Jin,
Don't, you shush. And
you
don't
shush now,
insult.
buddy.
You
And that
shush
is,
now.
and that is, you can spot it by people who have run-on sentences. Who 1 second they're talking about radiation, the very next second it's Freemason, the very next second it's gravity, and like,
I'm not,
and you
I'm
can
not
see it
doing
with
that.
like, yes, you are, Jin.
I'm not doing that at all.
Jin,
No,
I'm going to
again,
keep
you're talking
interrupting
out-
you next time you start speaking. If you're going to play this silly old game,
Because you're talking out your ass, man. You're
all
talking
right,
out
I'll
your
interrupt
arse.
you next time. We'll see how that works. I'm pretty good at
Yeah,
it.
it's going to be a shit show.
And that is
It's gonna
like
be a shit
a
show.
disorganized stream of consciousness speaking, where
gonna
it
be a
starts on
shit
one
show if it
topic
goes
and then
like
it will
that.
just be like onto a million different
It's
topics.
gonna be a
And I
shit
think it
show,
might
but
be
carry
also
on anyway.
associated with like mental conditions.
Yeah, if you're going to start slandering, this
So,
is when
Jin,
it becomes
where is there?
it becomes unamicable when you start to
Ooh,
slander.
someone's getting hot and heavy.
No, if you're going to start to slander,
Is
then
it
my voice
bothering
is going to
you?
get loud. It's as simple as that. Okay.
No,
Take a breath. Take a breath, Jin. You were the one calling me a piece of
so,
shit the other
Jin,
night. You can just take a
Shout
fucking
and
back
breathe
seat.
at the
I
same
don't
time,
really give a
folks,
toss.
don't worry.
Jin, where?
Jen,
I wanna-
Jen, you have absolutely have no idea what you are
Oh,
talking
Renee, you're making
Uh,
Mike.
You
Nah.
are
about.
coming
Said
out
the
like a
Van
cunt.
Allen belts. You have no
You're
idea.
talking out your ass, you cunt.
The
Can't
Glovers are
understand you.
getting bodied.
Yeah,
They're mad. You hurt
yeah,
their
Wait,
face.
why are you coming? Hey, why are you coming with cunt?
Go and get your fucking equipment sorted out. You sound like a cunt.
Jen,
Doesn't like slander.
Please don't swear.
Okay, yeah, I apologise for that.
Jen, you made a claim about the radiation. How do you know?
How do I know? I posted it to you many times.
So, where's your measurements?
Well, hold
Your
on, hold on,
personal
wait.
measurements.
You've already
So
stated.
I need so in this case, yeah, how do I know? I know because we can't go to space because of the second law of thermodynamics. I know because the
No.
event known as the Operation Starfish Prime happened, and you can find that information readily available if you want to go and look for it.
But what is
That's
your
how
personal
I know.
measurements?
That's how
Okay,
I know.
So you're saying
Go look
that
it up. Go and do
No.
the research for yourself.
How can
because the government said so.
Go
Let-
and do
Let
the
me ask
research
you about
for
It's a really
yourself.
good point.
Let me ask you about this
Jin,
The
you
radiation.
government that can't be trusted is telling you
Go and do the
that
research for
you can
yourself.
trust them, but you
Jin.
don't trust them,
It's
but you're
cherry picking.
trusting them on this.
I
No.
have
Jin, you do know that there's
Does
a law
seem a
of
bit that way,
gravitation.
Jin, where does this radiation come
gravity
from
is,
in the
of course,
first place?
Gravity
Where
is
does
a
it?
theory.
Jin,
Gravity
hear
No,
me?
Jin, gravity is a law of nature. M1, M2 over R squared. That's a
Gravity
law.
is not a thing that
Well, then
exists. It's never
thermodynamics is a
been
theory
proven.
too.
It's a theory. It's
Go have a
unproven.
chat with Bob Nodell. He knows all about gravity.
Bob Nodell is not me. I am not Bob Nodell.
A natural law, Jin.
Jin, where does this?
Gravity does not
Where does the
exist.
radiation?
It's an unproven science.
Where does this
A
radiation
theory,
come?
sorry. It's not even science.
Jin,
What gravity
where-
are you talking
Jin,
about?
Where does this radiation? Where does this radiation come from? How does it like?
It
'cause you
came
keep-
from the nuclear bomb blast, that the megaton bomb that they fired up there back in 1962, according to NASA, the military, and Sir Bernard Lovell.
No,
Not
hold
by-
on, hold
not
on,
by-
Jin. I'm saying that you're saying you can't go through because of the radiation. So did we create
Yeah,
the
that's what
radiation?
they're told.
Did we create that radiation to stop us from going through it?
The reason that the military did that is that they wanted to create a corridor through the Van Allen radiation belts so as they could go to the moon, because
No, but I'm
Kennedy
asking. I'm
had
asking
set-
that. I'm saying, where does that radiation come from in the first place?
Well,
I
it
know we
came
don't
from
know,
the-
but I'm just saying, just where do you suppose it comes from?
Well, it came from the bomb that they created, I suppose.
The
This is what
entire.
they tell us.
Do you think it envelops the entire Earth?
No, Jin, the entire radiation belt comes from the bombs.
Are you talking about the radiation belts?
Yeah,
Are you
you're
talking
saying
about
that if
the
the
radiation
rockets
belts?
went through, they would get radiation or something. But
That's
I'm like,
correct.
where
yeah.
does that radiation come from?
Okay, that radiation, according to the James Van Allen, it's their part of the creation of the Earth. You know, the heliocentric model. It's supposed to be coming from like the Earth's core. You see, that's their story. It's coming from the Earth's core. You know, the molten.
Are you telling us
molten
what our
Earth's
story
core
is again, Jim?
creates-
No,
Hang
no,
on,
no, no, no. It
yeah.
doesn't work
Hang on
like
a
that.
second.
You won't let us tell you what you
This
think.
is the story.
You can't tell
It's
us what
coming
we
from the
think.
Earth's core,
Sorry, it
supposedly.
doesn't work
And
like
it's
that.
there to
It's
protect
unfortunate,
it's
but it
there to
just
protect
doesn't.
the Earth from the radiation coming from the sun's solar flare. Okay, that's what this is the story that they created for us. They tell
what's
us
the truth?
that the
Comes from
radiation,
solar wind.
if you allow me to finish, it comes from the Earth's core, okay, to protect the Earth from the solar flare events that comes from the sun. Now, from 1960
So the sun is far, far, far away, and we have this
to
thing.
1991, there was 27,009 solar flare events, according to the organization that.
And is that with the sun
record.
in the dome or outside the dome?
As
I'm
far
just
as
wondering
we
because,
know,
you know,
the
we'd be
flat
fried
earth
to fucking death if
within
it was that
our
close,
dome,
that's
as far
all.
as we know. But we can't know for sure, but it's within our dome.
Well, we can because we've been there, but hey.
You've been to the sun. You've been to the sun. Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'm just pointing out, you know, I don't think we can
Sun,
use. I don't think we can use this argument really if their narrative, if you know, like you say, the sun is far away and the radiation, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But that's their story, you see.
Mm.
That's
Jin,
their
then
story.
What's the truth?
You can't
What's
handle
the
the
truth? What's the truth is we can't go. Listen, the
No,
truth
I
is,
didn't ask you
the
about
truth
that. I
is
didn't
we
ask about
can't
that.
go there.
Hold on,
We
Jin.
cannot go
Jin,
there.
Jin, time out. I didn't ask about going there. I'm referring to if the Earth's flat, right, and we're encapsulated by a dome or whatever,
Yeah.
right, then there wouldn't be any Van Allen belt, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so there's no Van Allen belt. So then why did they launch the nuclear missile?
Well, this is all part of their deception. Remember, they're telling us it's a spinning ball. So they're making.
Okay,
all
so do
kinds-
we believe them when they're telling us
Let
that,
me
or we
finish.
don't believe
They're
them when
making
they're telling
all
us?
kinds of events
Gets awfully
the
confusing.
population of Earth. That's what's going on.
Okay,
One massive deception.
So they didn't launch nuclear missiles, right? No bombs.
He doesn't want to learn.
Sorry?
So you're saying there were no bombs, no nuclear bombs fired off by the military?
Well, there is
No.
a question mark as to whether it was a nuclear bomb.
He already
There's the
brought up
question.
Operation Fishbowl.
Correct. Starfish
Yeah.
and Operation Starfish Prime, to be exact. 19.
Okay, so
We believe right when they said,
You're breaking
Or
up.
do
now.
we think-
That's what they tell us. You can see the event for yourself on YouTube. You can see the video of Operation Starfish Prime. 1
yeah,
hour.
but you're
Also,
still right on
Operation
the
Dominic.
assumption.
Oh, yes, all of the same event.
Did you see the link? The quote I put in the chat, Jin, that you're wrong about where the radiation comes from in the Van Allen belt. That most of them
There's radiation
I'm
all
sorry,
over
I'm not wrong.
space.
I am not wrong. Sorry.
Okay, so but Jin, either
Right.
way, you're saying that there's no radiation whatsoever.
No, there's radiation that goes everywhere through space.
No, Jin.
No, there
Jin-
is no
Jin-
radiation. How can there be?
Yeah, Jin just said that there's no radiation. There's no Van Allen belt. There's none of that.
You see, if NASA's saying they went to the moon, then we have to say NASA. But you said that there's radiation there, NASA. You said that there's 2 Van Allen belts to the tune of 2,500 revs apiece. Then you say that there's the Starfish Prime and the radiation left over there, which is 100 times more lethal. That's what you have to say to NASA. It's NASA's story.
What would be
Okay.
keeping that radiation up there if there's flat?
No, you're not addressing what he just said.
Thank you. Please address it.
I can address what you just said, Jim. Oh, you sounded before we spoke a bit. You sound like you know a fair bit about motorcycles and fixing them.
I know a lot about motorcycles and fixing
No,
them. A lot.
Right. So,
Don't.
so if it sounds like what you're saying is you doubt NASA's position when it comes to this radiation. Let's say you had somebody walk in, wheel in their brand new motorcycle, and you were like, "How much do you know about these things?" And he's like, "I literally bought it 30 minutes ago. I know nothing about them. I've never been a mechanic in my life." And then you started fixing it and saying, "Look, I think it's your tappets that are out." And they went, "No, I think it's the fuel tank."
Objection,
Would
it's
you-
not comparable.
It's not comparable at all. It's not, because
Would
a brand
you-
new bike wouldn't have fucking
Okay,
tap it
secondhand
effectively.
bike,
Come on.
secondhand bike,
Right. Get it
right? Or
man.
or a bike from China.
Yeah, but we trust
Um,
doctors, teachers, policemen. we
Chemo.
trust-
I'm not
Don't listen
asking
to
you
right
the
on
question,
eggshells
Chemo.
in his dirt bikes.
So, Jin, would you? And what I'm saying is, if you had somebody who you knew for whatever reason or had good
Yeah.
reason to believe knew nothing about motorbikes, and then they started telling you about motorbikes, would
Yeah.
you go, "This person's a bloody muppet"?
Well, I would say to him, look, if you're telling me, if he's telling me he knows nothing about motorbikes, then I'd say to him, but listen, you just said you know nothing about motorbikes, so why would you want to argue with me? Why would you?
So
why
what
would
if
you
he
doubt
said,
what
"I
I'm
do
saying?
know"? What if-
Don't you think you need to go and do some research? That's what I would say to the guy. Go and do
Right.
some research.
So what if he said, "I do know a lot about motorbikes, and I know the thing that propels them is luminiferous ether, and I also
But
know
he
that
just,
those
hang on a
round-
second, but he
and
just
these
said he
round
didn't
things
know.
they run on are called
Hang on a
hula hoops."
second, but he just said he
I'm
didn't
changing
know.
it slightly. I'm changing it. I accept your
Oh,
previous
bloody
answer.
hell,
It's
what's
a good
going on,
answer.
man? You see
So-
what I mean? Heliocentric model. Carry on.
So he then said, "I know a lot about motorbikes. I know I'm the most knowledgeable person about motorbikes. I know they run on luminiferous ether, and these round black things that they run on are actually toroidal vertices of space demons. And this thing that I sit on, this is called a saddle." Would you then go, "This person doesn't sound like they know much about motorbikes"?
I would say to the guy, you see you and your motorbike, can you get out of my shop, please? Goodbye, good luck. Go
Right.
fix your
So,
bike.
so do you think that might be the same view we would have when you're saying NASA doesn't know what they're talking about, where we're like,
I really
they're the
don't
ones who build
care
those
what your
motorbikes.
view really is at the end of the day. You're asking me questions. I'm telling you the stories that we have been told that people are listening, they've heard it themselves, and some people have never heard of the Starfish Prime and that. Even you guys were taken aback last year.
It just sounds like you use a really
when I
different
brought
rule.
it up last, you wasn't here last year. When I brought it up last year, when I first came into this server, and I brought it up, this place just couldn't, it just went wild in here. Because what third belt? What third belt are you talking about?
I think you're a bit deluded there, but hey,
know about it.
that's just
They didn't
me.
even know about Starfish Prime until I told them. So, you know, and that I stand loud.
Well, it must have been that important.
Stand by those words. So, you know,
it just seems
your
you've got a different
argument
tool.
is nothing at the moment. Walking
It
on,
seems you've got a,
riding
you've
on
got a,
eggshells.
Right, so let me summarize it
you're
for you then.
hopeless
Let
at
me
the
summarize it for you then,
Your
Jin. I
argument
can help
is
you out with this.
hopeless.
I can help you out. I can really help you out.
I don't need help.
The rule that you seem to apply to the sensible rule you seem to apply is you generally go, I've developed a gist, but I hold doubt and I go, I don't know. Then I go and myself make measurements like using a stethoscope or holding a screwdriver to it to listen if it's the tappets. Great example. So in some spaces, you've got this rule where you go, I think things, but don't believe them. I'm willing to say I don't know. And then I try to go and investigate myself. But then when it comes to stuff like the Van Allen radiation belt, or whether air pressure drops to zero before it reaches this container that you assert exists, you no longer seem to need to use that rule. Why is that? Why do you abandon that rule?
I don't know why
sometimes?
you would come to that conclusion, because as I've stated earlier, I have the right to make my decisions and conclusions as I see fit, given the information.
I'm just saying they're
that
bad
I
decisions.
have.
I'm not denying you the
Yes,
ability to
conclusions
make
and
them. I'm just saying they're
decisions
bad.
as I see fit through my rational thinking and processing with the information that I've been given. If you want to misconstrue that and rearrange it to fit your narrative or what you want to believe about me, be very careful.
What? So you're not doing that to fit your narrative?
That if it was on the
Okay.
because you know it could be fisticuffs, could be, because you don't want to be doing things
Oh my
like,
God.
you don't
Yeah,
want to be
rightio.
doing things like that. But that's what I'm about. I don't do that thing. I don't do things to people like that. What you know, you know. If you don't know, I'll tell you don't know, and I'll tell you it to your face, and I'll tell you why you don't know.
I'm not clear on what you're
Okay,
saying anymore.
so
Could you summarize your point for me and take
my
out the threat?
character. Do not rearrange what I say. Do not twist. Okay, there's no getting away from it.
You did that to yourself,
You
Jim, not
like the
us.
sound of your own voice.
Out a container. Okay, the Earth is not a spinning ball in the vastness of space, right?
Okay.
There is
No,
no
it is a
measurable.
globe and it's rotating in space.
So there you go. Please,
you guys
prove
talk
this
a lot
point.
in the
If you want
24/7
to shut me
server
up,
about
prove
this
the
phenomenon.
evidence. Provide evidence,
phenomenon
and then
of,
I'll
can
shut
somebody
up.
mute him for just
Provide
a second, because he
evidence
just
and I'll
keeps
shut
saying
up.
words for months.
Provide the evidence, and I'll shut up.
Sure.
Until that day,
Sorry,
you always
You
like
provide
that.
some evidence and we'll shut up. How does that
The globe
sound?
is not a spinning
Way
ball.
better.
He
Globe
just
is not
did
a
that
spinning
for
ball.
like an hour.
Flat Earth truth. Flat Earth truth. Flat Earth truth.
There
Flat Earth
is
truth.
none. There
Jim.
is none. There is
guys-
none.
You guys have on the 24/7 server this really interesting thing about cognitive dissonance. And I find it so interesting because if I were to ever describe what I would say as the peak cognitive dissonance, it would be a grown adult having a non-stop tantrum. Like nothing would show stronger
It is not a
dissonance.
tantrum. This
Jim,
is pride
it doesn't-
of knowledge. Pride of knowledge.
Pride of knowledge is a
Threat,
good way to know things
power,
or a bad way to know things?
Pride of knowledge.
Pride of
Happiness
knowledge.
to the highest degree.
Hey, man.
As happy
Happiness.
as a
You
high-
do not
as
sound happy, Jim.
as a helium balloon can fly up in the air. That's how high happy I am.
Hey man,
It's
how many
power. It's
how many minutes?
empowerment.
Just don't sound
Raw
happy.
energy.
You sound
Raw
angry.
many-
power. The
How
power
many
of
minutes?
knowledge.
How many minutes
The
can you
power
talk
of
about
knowledge.
your
Flat
perspective?
Yeah,
Earth
I'm pretty
knowledge.
happy
Yeah.
too.
Thank you. There you go. The power of knowledge.
Are you all right, mate?
What knowledge is
fine.
that?
Oh, were you talking?
That was just
Absolutely-
mumbling.
Oh
It's
yeah, very
true.
mature guys. Come on, if you want to
I'm
have a proper
absolutely happy,
discussion
my
here,
friends.
you should be able to at least talk like an adult. You would think.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Just
have
make-
flat Earth evidence.
When did I verify all of NASA's claims? What? How could I verify all of anyone's
I have
claims?
a
What
paper
kind of a weird question?
which tells us propagation of electromagnetic.
So, Chemo,
fields.
did you just butt into the conversation? I think riding on eggshells, weren't you saying something until Chemo rudely interrupted?
That's okay. I've been talking enough. Thank you, though.
He was responding in the chat there. He can obviously write back in the chat, right?
Sounds like a cop.
That's a fair statement, I think.
Yeah. So you were asking for flat Earth evidence, and I have a paper from the Army Research Laboratory, and they talk about propagation of electromagnetic fields over a flat Earth. So it looks like the Army.
So this is the army of the government that we don't agree with, or
my
that
God,
we
the
don't
government.
believe.
It's the government. Oh my God.
It is. It's been the government this whole time.
I'm going to start a jam board that we can all join in on.
So in this paper, they've got a model. They don't show the model. They talk about the model, and they mention.
No, you don't. You're the one that doesn't show your model because you don't have one.
The Army has a model.
You don't need one.
I don't have one.
You don't need one.
The Army has.
The government told
The Army
you
has a
when you're
model.
School teacher.
And they use their model, the flat Earth model.
Right?
I
I thought you were going to post a link.
No,
they call it a flat ground model. So they have a flat ground model, and they use this to propagate.
No, they don't.
Well, it's all there.
Why can't you shut up and let him speak?
It's all there in the paper, Muppet.
Where's the article? Where's the link?
As you are.
Yep, the link.
I'm going to put a Jamboard
Oh,
link in
God,
here.
there's
And I'm gonna...
words on a page on one of them. Holy shit, and flat is highlighted. What does that have to do with anything? A word in the middle of a fucking page. That's just stupid, Chemo. Where else? What else we got? Propagation of electromagnetic field over flat Earth with no link, no nothing. It's just, again, words on a page. You're an idiot.
You probably don't even know what that means.
Chemo, do you know what that link means at all? Chemo, what does that link mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the link now. Yeah.
Andrea's favourite word.
Did you just give a local link on your computer?
So this is a paper that talks about. Now you can press Control F and get find, and flat Earth comes up 13 times in this paper. So we've got flat ground for 5.
Who cares?
He can.
So how much Chemo? I'm gonna.
So it talks about a horizontal to homogeneous flat Earth.
Come out of your mouth.
That's great. Yeah. It talks about again horizontal to a homogeneous flat Earth. It talks about flat Earth, flat idealized Earth on the surface. It talks about flat ground for 5 Earth parameters cases. This has got flat all over the all over the paper, Mippet. This is
Thank you very much.
The moon with the ball of the giants.
This is a scientific peer-reviewed paper, Mippet. What's your problem with scientifically peer-reviewed papers?
Search for globe on the paper.
You know what it doesn't say, and that is.
Thank you, Chemo.
A flat Earth.
It
so
does
I'm
say
that's
what
what
the title says. The title says flat Earth. Are you blind?
Shit. Damn it.
The title says flat Earth. Are you blind?
It says fields. It says propagation of electromagnetic fields over flat Earth.
Yeah, flat Earth.
The desert's pretty flat.
Flat Earth. Yeah, that's right. Over flat Earth.
So it's just a curious. But I'm going to read this whole article. And how much of it?
Read it and weep. Right in the next show.
Sure.
Read it and weep.
Sure, Chemo.
We've got the scientific peer-reviewed paper that says the Earth is flat, and they account for flat Earth.
It doesn't say that the Earth is flat. It says electromagnetic.
No, it doesn't say the Earth is flat. It says flat Earth.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, you're wrong. It's not a peer-reviewed paper.
Yeah, this is from the yeah. Read the abstract.
Oh, it's not peer-reviewed.
Read the abstract.
Just be accurate.
Read the abstract.
Sure,
Stop panicking and just read the paper before you start making silly comments.
Sure. Tell us what you know about this and what this says.
You read it first.
No, I'm going to read it, but I'm going to be reading it as well.
I don't have the time to read it.
Yeah, I mean, just go and read the paper. It talks about the horizontal over Earth, okay? explains.
Over Earth. Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Not a flat
Horizontal.
Earth.
Horizontal over Earth. Yes, horizontal. What Bev's been telling you guys. Horizontal.
Horizontal. I can say that too.
Horizontal Earth. Read it and read, guys. We've got the facts, the figures, we've got the calculations here. We've got the numbers, we've got the maths, we've got everything you need.
Chemo, for fuck's sake, Chemo, shut up.
Shut it down.
Jesus, you just
Wait, you don't like it
natter
now when it's
like
your
a,
turn.
like a weirdo.
Shut it down.
What?
It
You
doesn't.
keep
You know what I
complaining.
was talking about
You
before?
just keep
What I was talking. What did I describe before to conspiracy
on their show.
mindset?
Shut
Somebody
up
else say
yourself.
it, so I don't talk the whole time.
Why don't
They're
you
both
shut
doing
up
it right
attention
now.
writing on their shows? Be honest. Be honest, right?
Neither one of you can be heard, Gin or Chemo, because you're both talking over each other. And no one gives a fuck what you think anyway. So,
about a
I'm not
million
talking.
different things.
I'm not talking.
Shut up. You ain't got a clue.
We've got the numbers. We just have it. It's over for the globe. It's over.
yeah, if you believe that, you believe anything.
Topic to topic. I'll read this whole thing, and I'm 100% confident, even though I'm never 100% confident. I'm so confident because why would they release it? Why would they release science that admits the flat Earth if their whole job is to stop that ever happening? But they go, "Oops, we made a paper. We made a peer-reviewed paper about it."
Dude, have you done zero research into
that we were doing it, even though our whole point is to hide that we do it.
Just find how many times to say globe and round Earth in this paper, please. From the army.
Do you know?
I easily could believe they do mappings with flat Earth. Yes, I believe they would do it because if you said you're doing it over flat Earth.
Flat Earth.
Do you know what the Freedom of Information
Thank you very much.
Act
Welcome to
is?
Flat Earth, guys.
No, you could. Oh, Jesus, you're just not, you're not interested in having a conversation.
Truth.
You're just not interested in actually talking about the paper.
Go on, tell me about the paper.
Why did they release it? Is my question. While I read it, could you explain why they released it? Why they did this?
Oh my god.
Well, for number one, there's a lot of different factions of intelligence.
Why did they release it?
Why? There's a lot of different intelligence.
Yeah, laughing and repeating the questions.
Why would they release it?
I'll tell you why. There's different factions of intelligence agencies that are competing against each other. That's one good fucking reason why.
So they're competing, and then they release this to the public.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Just
they shouldn't have released it, should they?
Yeah, this isn't evidence at all.
Dipole over Earth.
I know you don't know much about this stuff, and people who actually do real research do. And now you kind of sound like an idiot, don't you?
Me?
Why would they lie? Why would they lie? Because you guys are easily duped. Because you guys are almost...
Do you lie? Okay. Do you lie?
Sorry, guys, to break it to you like this, but the army, again...
No, it's a simple question, Chemo. Do you lie?
The flat earthers. The experts
do you lie,
agree.
Chemo?
Not about when it comes to shape of the... Not about when it comes to the shape of the earth. No.
Do you lie at all?
Well, not when it comes to the shape of the earth, no.
Do you lie, Chemo? It's one
He's answered your question.
He's when the wife says, "Do I look big? Does this dress make me look big or something?" I may say yes or no, depending on something like that.
So go on.
Yeah.
Beg your pardon. Carry on.
You guys have been busted. You don't have any evidence. We have the evidence from the army.
That's not evidence. It's just a research paper. It's not evidence.
Can I describe to you what I've heard you say about this, Chemo? What you've said about this is, I did a search. Flat Earth comes up 13 times. I've asked you to describe what this paper is talking about, and I haven't heard anything sensible from you. And
I'm talking about the propagation of electromagnetic fields over flat Earth.
You fucking read it.
I am trying to read it.
Well, read it.
I'm going to show you one of the calculations.
The title is called Propagation of Electromagnetic Fields Over Flat Earth. Over flat Earth. The army conducts experiments over.
Can I ask you a question?
This is an open question for the chat. Look at that. I just posted it in the chat. Look at that. that equation there and tell me, put your hand up if you think you can answer that equation.
Facts,
honestly.
figures, and when I say the numbers, we've got the numbers too. For propagation,
show me
over a
doing
flat
this
Earth.
algorithm.
Just show me where it says ball Earth. And
no, you said we've got the numbers. Put the numbers in, get the numbers out.
Flat, 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 horizontal, horizontal, flat, horizontal, flat, horizontal. How many more times do you need it?
Beautiful.
It doesn't matter how many times you say it, you're going to be wrong every single time.
It's not me saying it, it's the military. It's not me, Mippy, it's the military say horizontal, flat, flat, flat. I agree with the military, the army. They say flat. They're the ones who do the experiments. They need to know how to fly across the Earth. And if they say it's flat, well, they know what they're talking about, right?
Well,
Can I ask you why trying it before?
Yes, they do know what they're talking about.
Chemo, this is not the first time you presented this paper.
All right, this is the first time.
No. This is the first time. Before I presented.
Here's the main point of the entire paper.
What about
the
this?
horizontal distance, the maximum that was done in this test was 1,000 meters. That's it. That's why you can use it as a simplified flat Earth model, is because the maximum range is only 1,000 meters horizontally.
That was the NASA test. That was the
No
NASA
wonder
one.
you just do it flat. Why would you put a fucking curvature into a calculation that small? It would just make it so much more complex. Unnecessary.
It's funny that chemo
the paragraph above figures 6 and 7. That's where it says
found that. Who found that? Who found that? That was an awesome find.
No, that would take a flat experimentation and add a completely different mathematical aspect to it by making it have curvature, for sure.
Fantastic. So the one I provided before
I'm just
Rocket
curious,
was the
Chemo,
one from NASA where they
I've got a
calculate
question for you.
flat surface. So
Chemo, why don't you ask me a
all of these
question or I ask you one? You just monologue.
Why is it all of these institutions account for a flat land and a horizontal plane?
in chat.
There is
So he
one
can just
professional
read 'em
company
read
that
'em and
accounts
weep.
for curvature. One company. NASA.
For
the
1,000
military.
meters, you're looking at 3 inches of drop.
Educate yourself
Nothing.
before you start
Okay,
denying.
so show me one company that accounts for curvature anywhere, ever.
Chemo, hello.
Mhm.
ESA, JAXA, NASA.
No, where are the papers where they account for curvature?
Oh, gotta love you. It's a NASA.
Space company, you want SpaceX, Planet.
I want a peer-reviewed paper like mine that says flat Earth. Where does yours say curved Earth or globe Earth or whatever?
Sure.
Are you serious?
Yeah, let's have a look where they account for curvature.
Just look at any paper on orthorectification.
Where?
Any paper from any company.
From a large company like NASA or the military.
Yeah, orthorectification. Look that up.
No, you show me. You're making it up, Rocket.
Chemo, I'm not going to waste my fucking time. There's your keyword search.
No, you're the one who made the argument. You have to do it.
Oh, yeah, rightio.
No,
Like,
Chemo was the one who
Chemo never
said it.
does anything for himself. He's a
Let's get
fucking
that-
waste
let's
of
get
giving
this
you a
straight.
paper, Mippy.
I didn't
What
make
are
the
you talking
argument.
about?
Chemo said it, but
Bro,
you
I'm
can't
on it,
produce
I'm on
this.
it.
And I just said, no, that's bullshit.
And you
Chemo
ignore
made the
what
claim.
it's being
He's
said,
the one who-
No,
Chemo.
I said, where are the papers? Provide one that accounts for curvature.
Chemo.
Look in Google Scholar.
Oh
Chemo.
yeah, no,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
with Chemo. No, dude, guys tell us. Okay, if he's so wrong, where's your fucking paperwork here?
Where they
I'm
account
like
for
a cop.
curvature. Anywhere. All the top
Anywhere? Okay, make one link. Post
Sounds
anything.
like we want to try to get away from
There you go.
Chemo's evidence.
There you go, Jen, right there in side chat for you. In regards to the Van Allen belts.
No, we're
Official
looking for
NASA paper.
curvature.
Read them and weep.
I know exactly about the Van Allen radiation belts, mate. You don't have to tell me. I'm posting for you all the effects of radiation coming your way.
There is no
So, don't worry.
radiation, Jin. That's part
Don't
of
waste
the
your
globe
time.
narrative. How can there be radiation?
Oh, God, even they're
Yeah,
not
I
agreeing
know,
with
and I'm
each
giving
other
it
now.
back.
This is bloody crazy.
Their own narrative. You've got to give them their own narrative so they understand what they believe in.
Bloody
Oh, so you're
crazy.
pretending that
No,
that's a
absurd.
narrative.
Hey, listen, lady. How
Okay.
the hell did they go out to the moon if those Van Allen radiation belts exist?
That's right.
What do you guys
Because
You mean
they
you've
passed
never,
through-
ever,
because
ever
they-
looked it up on the internet? You've never looked that up. So you
Provide
don't
the
know.
evidence.
Are you
Oh,
serious?
God.
Can I ask?
Because they pass through the safest areas of the Van Allen
and
belts.
spend the littlest possible time. Yeah.
Silly moo. You ain't got a clue, you silly moo.
I know,
What
it's
do,
crazy.
what do
And
flat
also,
earthers think
man,
is
I just
outside the
watched
container?
I just watched a video yesterday
Yeah, I don't
of
know.
one of the Apollos saying he didn't even know if he went through the Van Allen radiation belt, but he was alive, so he assumed he did. I'll find it for you.
Yeah,
there you
I
go.
believe him.
He's
So
alive, so it doesn't exist.
Yeah, so we got. What the fucking difference does it make if he's alive or dead? Prefer him to come back and he's dead and go, oh, it must have been the radiation that killed him. You're a fucking idiot.
I'll freaking tell you right now.
I don't want you to tell me anything because it's wrong.
I will tell you. It means that there is no fucking Van Allen radiation belt proven.
You sound like you know it all, so I'll just take your word for it.
Never been proven. So
radiation belt has never been proven. Do you understand?
Could you describe a different thing has been
been proven? The most radiation that any astronaut upon the Apollo missions ever experienced was equivalent to a chest X-ray.
So if
That's
we
a
look,
load of crap.
Interesting.
if we look closely at this picture of the ISS,
read them and weep.
It looks very similar to
the old flat Earth saying that they like to use so often.
Don't you all think it's so cool that there is actually an ISS up there? It's so cool.
It looks very close to this huge biplane. And
who the fuck is Walter Russell?
No, it doesn't. Not at all.
Well, when you look at it like this in more detail, you get to start to see that the ISS is a
Walter, instead of being a coward and text chat, why don't you come into voice chat?
It could be, you're right. But
so
they
now
could do. Here's the thing it comes back to, Chemo. They can do that. See that equation that I posted in the chat before? I'll post all of this stuff now because I'm still working on the Jamboard. They can do that equation. You can't. You did a word search for how many times flat Earth came up in that, but you do not even know what that equation is measuring.
Oh, yeah, I don't bother with it.
You don't know that.
Yeah, I don't bother with
that.
So
you're saying we've got the numbers, but you don't actually come with the numbers. You come with weird shit about, doesn't this plane look like this other shape?
You've just insulted a large amount
This is weak and you know it, and this is strong, but you don't understand it.
You've insulted a large amount of people by saying that.
I'm not here to not offend people. I can't do that.
Actually, the link that I actually provided for Jen is actually good reading for individuals such as you and I, Mippet. It's good reading.
Oh.
Renee, do you hear anyone else apart from Mippet?
I can hear him.
No, does he hear
are you getting jealous, Chemo?
No, I think he's got everyone turned down.
Chemo's next on my list.
Ah, he's got me turned down. Have you got me turned down, Renee?
Don't blame me if you do, Renee.
Yeah, I think it's a fun thing. I don't think I'm not even sure you really believe in this, Chemo, because you're very good at monologuing about it, but your proofs are exceptionally weak. Like that you presented a paper saying I did a word search when it was very clearly way beyond any of our comprehension. You're like, because it has the words flat earth in it, I'm going to pretend that says what I'm saying, despite the fact it had an equation that looked like that. You need to understand that equation if you're going to judge the paper, right? And
no. I was only going by what information
and
was
then your
telling me.
next proof was like, hey, this plane looks like this other thing they say is up there. I'm like, yeah, I trust them because they can do equations like that. You can't.
Oh, you trust them.
I mean, those equations are just a language, really. I mean, they don't really represent reality in any kind of way.
Oh, they don't really represent reality.
Where's the curvature of your
then why would you trust what it's saying? If it doesn't describe reality, why would you trust what it's saying about the shape of the planet?
I don't trust what it says. I'm not a flat earther because I'm not a flat earther because of what that paper said. We knew the flat Earth was before that paper was released.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was a bad proof. This just made you
Kimo,
look
which
silly,
is it?
bro. And
There's
you're
not
not
a
silly.
distinction
That's the
comes out
thing.
of
This
that.
has made you look silly.
Excellent
And you're
proof.
not a silly person. You're so clever.
No, you're
so
talking out
clever and
your
so
arse,
driven.
man.
But you
Excellent
just
proof.
barged in here and made yourself look a bit silly. Why? Why do you do
No,
that?
he hasn't. No, he has not. No, he
I
has
agree.
not. Not at all.
I agree,
Indeed,
not
he
at
has
all.
full proof.
Well, you know, like I
I
said,
just
I can
posted
only
a letter
provide you the
H
papers.
in the side chat. If we look at that letter H and compare it to the ISS, they kind of look very, very, very similar.
This has nothing to do
they
with the
do
ISS,
too.
though. We have way bigger
ISS is
topics.
a huge letter H on the sky.
Yes,
talk
I
about
didn't get to finish my
radiation.
point, so that's why I posted earlier on this hologram.
No, you posted a different thing. I posted the letter H. How come, Kimo, you didn't, with your whole years and years of flat Earth research, how come you didn't realize that the ISS is a letter H? You
It's a
went to something completely different. You went to U2 planes.
Can I ask a question?
What I'm showing at the end, the
nobody
ISS
fucked
is
up.
a
How did
hologram.
ISS equal age? I'm curious. How?
Well, it looks similar, right? It looks similar.
Yeah, you're blind.
Do you mean like the letters, like
You're blind
ISS
as well as
versus
dumb.
the letter H? Like what?
Blind as well as dumb. Huh?
I can post the letter H again. Hold on. If you've seen a letter H,
I've
I
just
can
never
educate
heard
you.
of that before.
The
There you go.
ISS is not a letter H. That's the problem.
How come? How do you know, Jin? We know, like, it looks similar, right?
It just happens to be in the shape of an H.
It's not the letter H.
It doesn't.
How do you
even
know, Jin? Do you have
exist.
evidence that it isn't a letter H?
Do you know
Yeah,
about?
but you need
Fuck
evidence.
that.
You
Do you
need
know
you need
about-
evidence for that, Jin.
Do you know about Sophia? The aircraft. There's an aircraft called Sophia, which takes pictures into space,
Yeah.
but is actually not actually in space.
So that's perfect for it. Just step
Right.
So do we
And then
believe
it's
those
the
photos or we do not believe those
actual,
photos?
the actual
What do you believe in?
You have to hold it,
It's
but
the
it'll be
exact
good. if you
same
add
one as
to it.
the
Just
Hubble,
asked a question,
the Hubble telescope.
but
It's
just
exactly
yelling,
the
so
same-
no
same-
one's going to get an answer now.
The same pictures at the Hubble
Jin
telescope.
just sometimes
It
goes
takes the
off.
same pictures,
He just,
Sophia.
the cognitive
Well,
dissonance
Exact same
boils
pictures as the
over,
Hubble telescope.
and he just
No, no,
starts
it's
ranting.
insane.
Jin,
Jin,
I think we
hey,
know.
can I ask you a
we know
question,
by
Jin?
this point.
I want to ask Jin a question. This
Go
is
for it.
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah,
Good,
nice to
good.
talk to you,
Oh,
by
how
the
you
way.
doing, my
I
man?
haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Nice to talk to you again, by the way.
Talking to
How
you
do
again
we?
as well, man.
Cool. Yeah, man. Awesome. How do we exemplify Sophia and the data from that versus ISS, for lack of better words? How would you do that?
Exactly. Did you know that the Sophia takes the exact same images as the Hubble telescope? Did you know that? It's got the same equipment, the exact same equipment. You know that, E.T.?
Of course I do. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
I'm vaguely
So-
aware of that. Yeah.
The Sophia has the exact same equipment as the Hubble. Tell me about the equipment.
Oh
What's
my
the-
God.
What's the equipment?
Okay, go on, Jin.
Yeah,
I want to hear
yes.
more about this.
Did you know
Well,
I have the same?
if you
Did you know
you
that
know,
I
hang on a
have
second,
legs
if
just
you-
like Putin does?
if you
Therefore, I am
want-
Putin.
If you want
Oh.
the specifications of the Sophia and the Hubble telescope, Google it, and then you'll learn.
Jin,
like I did.
Jin, can I
Go and
ask an
Google.
honest question? What is the relevance of this? Why is it
I
relevant
want-
that they have the same
Hey,
equipment?
I will tell
Okay,
you the
okay.
relevance of
I can
this.
tell you the relevance. I can tell you. Let me tell you why. Because the Hubble telescope is indeed not up there, number one. And we have it.
Oh
from
my
the NASA
God.
employee-
Right, we needed
Hang on.
to hear
We
that.
have it
Hang on.
from the NASA.
It having the
employee
same kind of
who is in
equipment
charge
doesn't
and
necessitate that it's
responsible,
not up there, you
and he
moron.
hasn't seen it at the
The
time
whole
of the
argument
video,
is silly.
25 years. 25 years it hasn't been seen. And I can post you that documentary by Robert
I have a
Fasano.
He sounds like he's
Computer,
just
Andy.
forcing this out, doesn't he?
Okay,
Getting so excited.
okay, yes, I have to force.
I'll tell you why he's
bastards won't shut up
excited.
and let me
'Cause he
get it
knows-
out, will you?
Because he
You
knows
keep
the truth.
fucking
Well, we just turn
interrupting.
you down,
You're
so
an
you
idiot.
just the more you yell, the lower you go. It's
You're
as simple
an
as that.
You're an idiot.
Then I can't
You're an
hear you, which is
idiot.
really good.
You're an idiot. You keep fucking saying. You're an idiot.
I made him
so
talk
let me
like a
just,
baby.
all right, guys, let me
Shut
talk
up,
with
you
Renee.
silly
Renee,
move.
do you have me
You
turned down?
silly move.
Hold on, Jin. Renee, he doesn't hear me, does he? Tell him he has me turned
Nah.
down. Yeah.
Renee,
I can hear you.
turned down. Oh.
I can hear you.
Oh, that's okay then. So it's just that you were over talking when I was talking, so I assumed you'd turn me down.
Okay.
I always do.
Well, my bad.
Okay.
Oh,
So the answer to the question that was asked of me is that the Hubble telescope is not up there, and we have it from the individual who's supposed to be looking after this Hubble telescope. He hadn't set eyes on it in 25 years. Seen the thing, and he's responsible for keeping it up there, maintaining and keeping an eye. And he hasn't even seen it in 25 years. And I'm going to post
That's the idea.
the
It's
video.
a spacecraft. You don't get visits from it. It doesn't come back down to say hi unless you're an astronaut. That's how it works, man.
Walking on eggshells.
What do you think he does? Brings him back for another visit just for old time's
noise
sake.
in the wind. Noise in the wind.
Spacecraft, Jin.
Nothing to report. Walking on
Oh man.
eggshells, swimming on eggshells.
Never checked in on
You're
it.
in trouble, mate. You got nothing. What a wally.
By the way, Jin, we know the ISS is up there.
What was that meant to tell us either? What were we meant to be learning from that? Sorry, Jin, before I cut in. What were we meant to take away from the point that he hadn't seen it in 25 years? What was your
The fact that he
takeaway?
hadn't seen it in 25 means that the Hubble actually isn't up there, and any photographs purportedly supposed to be from space is coming from that aircraft called Sophia, because it has the identical lens as the Hubble telescope. And if you took the time to do the research,
lens? Is that true? I thought Hubble was a totally new lens.
Identical. According,
Everything was
according
identical.
to NASA and Sophia,
Everything?
and it's identical to the Hubble, taking the same pictures. I'm going
Taking
to
the same pictures.
And you know that how?
We know that because the guy in charge of the Hubble telescope, that he hadn't seen it in 25 years. So then the question that Robert Pisano posed to him was, how do you keep an eye on it and maintain it, let's say, and what about enemies? Because you want to have cameras. What's keeping an eye on the telescope? What if an enemy country came and took it out?
Well, I think it's pretty safe where it is. So, yeah.
So,
in 25
so
years.
if you were wrong about this, Jin, would that affect your confidence in flat Earth?
Not 1 degree at all.
But you feel it should affect ours? Because here's the comparison I found, which
there is no
directly
curvature. No curvature, yeah? So
hang on,
unless
have
you've
you
got
skipped
curvature-
from the topic we were on?
Hang on a
You
second.
were talking about Hubble and
It's on
Sophia.
topic.
This is
It's
a couple
on
of paragraphs of Hubble and Sophia, and then you suddenly went, curvature. That's cognitive dissonance. That's changing the topic.
I'm just
That's
letting you know.
cognitive
I'm
dissonance,
letting you
my
know,
friend.
yeah?
I'm letting you know. Yeah,
that
we're
we
letting you
know.
know, pal, that when you
It's on
suddenly
topic.
switch the topic, that goes, you suddenly went, oh, my leg went from under me there. Still got another leg. In fact, I've got 4,000.
Not at all,
Curvature
not
and
at
gas
all.
pressure and all
Not
sorts of
at
different
all,
legs that
Not
whenever you
at
sweep one
all.
out.
Not at all. Not at
Okay.
all. Not at all.
So well, it's good because you're wrong, isn't it?
The shield's got.
I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong, you Aussie Wally. I'm not wrong, you Aussie Wally. You're
Why
wrong.
am I Wally? Why am I Wally?
Because you're wrong. That's why you're Wally. You're wrong. You're Wally.
Jin, we know that you are wrong.
I know that you are.
What do you say
all
about
wrong.
that?
Every
No.
single one of you here are wrong.
No. I know
How
that
do you know that? Before, you didn't know what was wrong with the bike. You went, tested it and tapped it. Have you tested and tapped the Hubble?
Guys, the Hubble came from the Sophia aircraft, and Jin has done probably 10 times more research than anyone in this room.
No, the Hubble is
I think priests do research. I think imams do research. I think people who belong to Harry Potter fan clubs do research. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are researching something that is true. Very few people, sports people, engineers and stuff, they know if they're getting better at it. But if it's some bullshit that it's just you gather in a room and you talk about this and it doesn't produce any actual anything, then no, it'll just be.
Do you have anything of substance right? I mean, it's just like rhetoric, really, isn't it?
No. Oh, rhetoric, really? Yeah.
Can I
persuasive speech.
No, well, hold on. I just want to ask Ryden. I just want to be direct to Ryden on it just a little bit. So, what do we have practical that will show us that we're on a ball or space is real? I mean, you're just saying just believe.
Look at log.
I mean, all I'm hearing from you is like, you're just saying like, I trust the guys. Why would they lie?
Let me try to
trust the guys.
Question,
why would?
But I just want to. When did I say just believe?
That's what it sounds like. I'm saying. Correct me if I'm wrong. If there's actual practical
Nobody
proof,
cares
obviously there is practical proof, but it just seems to me like you're just saying, look, these guys know a lot more than you. They're better than you. You should just believe them. You should just trust them. Just go with what they're saying. It's like, well, why? I mean, they haven't presented anything.
Are you trying to tell me that I'm arguing that so that you can argue against that? Or
yes,
why
I'm trying
are you
to say
saying that
all I'm hearing from you is rhetoric. Like, just believe, just trust them. That's what I'm hearing from you.
When did I say believe or
trust? You didn't say those words, but what I'm getting from what you're saying is...
Sounds to me it's what you always say, Chemo.
Yeah,
what I'm getting from you, if you're not just saying, look, just trust the guys...
Just projecting.
If you are saying more than that, and it's not just about trust, what would you provide?
You should question all of the reality.
Again, you're just preaching.
Different realities that are presented to you, because everybody's peddling an agenda.
Again, look, this is rhetoric. You're preaching to me.
Who's peddling an agenda?
Everybody is.
Everybody's preaching.
Are you serious? Well, I'm not. You're insane if you are.
Yeah, but what's with the preaching here?
For a job interview, you're peddling an agenda, right?
Yeah, but you're
it's
preaching
a good thing.
again. You're saying you're doing this, you're doing that. I'm saying if we live on a ball, you should be able to provide something that proves this to be true.
You just try to box a conversation.
If you live on a flat earth, you should be able to show
having a
us
reasonable
something.
Conversation, Chemo. So why don't I ask you a question, Chemo? What would change your confidence? Either increase it or decrease it in a flat earth?
Well, it's about what you say and what the people say.
Because
I have the idea that water cannot conform around the exterior of an object without a force. Now, some people think opposite. Some people believe the opposite. Yes?
What do you believe? Tell me what you believe. If you want me to understand and agree with you, you need to describe it to me. Tell me what to believe.
So
you might use it against you.
We have the same beliefs that we were both told that water can conform around the exterior of an object like the Earth with a force of gravity. That's what we were both told.
I've asked you.
He doesn't answer questions.
I believe in Jesus. Do you want to talk about religion?
Sure, if you want.
We've got a religious room. We're not talking about religious and what I believe, right? We're talking about what we know. What I'm saying is that we were told because we were told that the
He might let Boomer in.
Well, hold on. He just asked me what I believe, and Boomer, hold on a second. Hold your horses, Boomer. Hold your horses, Boomer. So, Ryden, you said, what do you believe? I said Jesus. Now what? You want to talk about religion? Because most people don't want to hear about that. We want to talk about the earth, the earth that we live on. Yeah.
I think that would be a less contentious topic where we could start to get along.
Well, again, what we're trying to find out, though, that's for another room, though, isn't it? That's for another time, another place, in church, on Sunday, maybe, or another time. Yeah, we can talk about religion.
I'm also rooting for that. Let's talk about religion.
Right now, we're in the flat Earth room. Yeah, discuss the flat Earth.
No, it's flat Earth and more, and I get told to talk. So religion sounds super
flat Earth and more. Yeah, so more than the flat Earth is space. Okay, that's more than the flat Earth. We can talk about
but you don't
planets.
believe in space, do you? I'm specifically asking you what.
No,
do
I
you
believe in Jesus. I've already told you. Now, look, you said the
tell
earth.
me about Jesus.
You said.
What do you believe in about Jesus?
Why you want to talk about Jesus for? Just a faith. Just faith. I can't prove it. I can't demonstrate it.
It's
just
because it's flat.
It's just a book.
So we have,
it's a book that I read that I believe with my heart.
To talk about
got
religion.
no rhyme or
Let's have a
reason
vote.
to believe it. I
So
just
we have
believe
two
it.
people,
Just
at least
because.
four, talking
I
about
feel it.
religion.
It's a feeling
Are there
inside.
anyone,
Okay.
Is there anyone against?
Now, is the globe a feeling like that? Do you just feel the globe like I feel the
Timo,
power of God?
you were not listening. We are having a vote. Are we talking about religion or not?
No, we're not talking really. There's a religious room.
No, we have two votes for talking about religion.
All right, Boonam, what did you want to say?
Yeah, there you go.
My question, guys. Come on, I've been patient. Can I do my question to Jin? Thank you.
Yeah, go for
Jin,
it.
on a triangle with a side 2, 2, and 2, what is the sum of the inside angles? Jin, a triangle the sides 2, 2, and 2.
Why do you need to know that?
Jin's gone.
Why
Just asking you. I want to see if Jin knows this one. Okay, Jin's gone. All right, see you, Jin. Thank you.
So, riding, again, it's not what about I believe, right? I could talk about Jesus, talk about the Bible. It's not important right now. What is important right now is what we've been lied to about the shape of the earth. Now, you're saying...
I'm just curious to know what you believe, because you seem like what you're saying.
I just told you what I believe. I believe in the Bible.
You've never asked me what I believe. You've got no idea what I believe. Every time you go to say what I say, you say something totally wrong, and that should be really important.
I'm not interested in your religion. I don't want to know what you believe.
That's exactly what you do.
But I'm not interested in what you believe. Do you know anything, Ride on the Eggshells? What do you know?
So tell me what you believe. What do you believe?
I believe in Jesus.
Okay. Anything else about the shape of the planet?
About the planet, I have no idea what it is.
Oh, awesome. Great answer. I have no idea what it is. You fucking legend. I love that answer.
Do you have any idea what it is?
No.
Well, what we talking for? Can a baller step up and give us what they know about the shape of the earth?
I've never said it's not. I don't think. I've tried.
Why are you monologuing?
You're defending it vehemently.
Why are you wasting everyone's time if you don't even know where you live, what the shape of the earth is?
Kimo, you just said that you don't
and
know
you're
where
still
you
living.
By the way, and you just said that you presented us with strong flat earth evidence with the paper before, but now you say that you don't know, so it shows that you don't trust the evidence that you present, Kimo.
We're supposed to be on a board, so I'm asking for evidence of that board.
Yeah, we are asking you for evidence of the flat earth that you don't even supposedly believe in.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about who said it was a globe.
Well, that's the point, Ryan. Next shows. Do you say it's a globe?
I lean that way. I could easily be convinced of many different things. I've believed many different things in my life. For a brief moment, I believed that the Akashic record was a real thing. I didn't believe.
Let's go with what we see. Well, let's just use it. All right. Calm down. Let's just go with what we see. When you look out, what do you see?
Oh, Kimo, why do you do that? Someone's talking just because it's not your fucking topic. Let him speak and don't just cut him off. That is extremely rude.
What do you see when you look out? When you go to the beach, you look out, what do you see?
See? The rudest fuck on the planet.
You want to ask them the same way you've always asked them. You've asked me these questions before. That's the most annoying thing about
Well,
this.
you're talking. I don't know why you're talking then. Why are you not listening if you've been asked these things before?
Okay, so I'm trying to ask you, what do you believe? Yeah, let me listen. Let me understand. Go for it. Tell me what you believe.
Just been through this.
Jesus. And when it comes to the shape of the planet, you said, I have no idea. Yeah.
Yeah, the shape of the earth, I don't know. But what I see is flat. I observe flat. I don't know what the entire shape of the earth is now. But I observe flat. I see flat. I see a flat horizon, horizontal plane. Do you see anything different than that?
I don't really know what I see. As I said in the other room,
there you go. So you don't even know what you see.
In the other room.
Rillabroad Snellius will answer your question.
So you don't even know what you see, yeah?
I can answer that question for you. If
you just said when you go outside, you look outside, you don't know what you see.
Give me a minute or two. I would love to answer that question.
Well, first of all, why don't you know what you see? Why is that?
It's just asked you to give him a minute.
Yeah, answer. Why don't you know? Why is it you don't know what you see? Tell me that.
Sure. So I've been up in the air. I've spent more time off the surface of the ground than most people because my dad died last week, and he was a mega famous aviator. He was like a Howard Hughes type person.
Sorry, dude.
Yeah, it's all right. He was a bit of an interesting father.
Serious stuff.
And I have mixed feelings about his passing, as do a lot of people in his life, and that's the thing I'm most sad about, which is weird. But he circumnavigated the globe. He did north to south air race, and then I shit you not, you can check this up online. He won a Tiger Moth, a biplane from like World War early. I don't know, a fucking biplane doing Singapore to Christchurch in an air race. They didn't want to give him the prize because they wanted it to go to somebody in New Zealand and something registration. So he flew in a barrister, won the plane, then got a fuel drum, fastened it in the front seat with a pipe going into the thing that he had to hand crank sometimes when he needed more avgas, and flew 9-day trans-Tasman flight, came to Sydney. And at the same time his biplane was due to come into Sydney, the paper reports, a biplane flew under the Sydney Harbour Bridge. And he had no knowledge of it, he claimed. But
and this is why you don't know what you see.
And I, as a result of growing up with him, flew in a plane most not most weekends, but like he would come and pick me up in Sydney. He would send a car for me, pick me up in Sydney, and we'd fly up to the farm.
And this is why you don't know what you see.
When you ask me what do I see at ground, I don't know what I see. Mostly it's like mountains and gullies and all sorts of stuff. The higher up I get is where I think I would see it, but it's huge.
What do you think
and
you
so
would
I
see?
wouldn't know what to look for in terms of when you say flat.
What do you think you would see?
I've got no idea what I would see. I think that's the best answer you've given all night. I've got no idea what I would see.
You don't know what you would see.
That's why I can't answer the question, what do you think you're standing on? I have no idea what curved or flat or undulating would look like because my mind is so small.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're not wrong about that.
I've got no idea. If you claim you've done a measurement of distance or something, sure, I'll read that. I'm interested in that. But when you say, what do you see, trust your senses, I'm like, I don't know what spinning would feel like if everything since we first crawled out of the ocean didn't need it or notice it. Why?
I mean, a blind person could know if the Earth is curving. How come you don't know if the Earth is curving?
Why would you build that into your organism? If you were God, why would you make the organism constantly aware?
No, not spinning. I said if the Earth was curving, a blind person.
Every time you threw something up in the air, it just did bizarre things, and you're like, oh God, that's like inconvenient.
But eggshells, I'm saying a blind person could know.
Disappeared off. Like, why would God do that to you?
Yeah, but you're saying you don't know what you see, but I'm saying a blind person could know if the Earth was curving or not.
Hold on, Kimo. Are you blind?
How would I tell?
Blind, Kimo?
Tell me what I'm looking for.
How would you tell if? How would a blind person know if the Earth is curving?
Exactly. Yeah.
Hold on, Pim.
How would a blind person know the Earth is curved?
Okay, so
rotating.
You know it. I didn't say rotating. I said curving.
Well, if it's one, it's the other. It's not a.
Well, they would know if it's curving. So you've seen roller coasters before, yeah? I take it they have roller coasters in Down Under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So if you're going across a horizontal and the roller coaster drops, they would feel that drop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would they feel that drop?
They wouldn't feel that drop? So if in an elevator, don't they feel when they're going up or down?
Yes. What are they feeling? What are they feeling when they feel that drop?
The motion.
What motion?
Of going up or down.
The motion in scientific terms.
So if they're going horizontal and they've dropped, they fall down a hole, do you think they would know?
So change in vector, is that what you're talking about?
Would they know if they fell down a hole?
What are you describing?
If a blind person would know if they fell down a hole.
Would a blind person know? I've got to write these down, sorry.
Yeah.
This is...
So he's walking across the ground.
No,
would a blind person know he's going down the stairs? Or do you think he's walking straight?
I think
it kind of depends.
Who was walking along the street, hang on, I've got to change color because this is a statement. I think that someone walking along the street that suddenly found themselves plummeting downwards would absolutely know what had gone on.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. That was my point. That was my point. That they would know if they're dropping down in elevation. They don't have to see it. They would feel it. Yeah?
Yes, they would feel it, yeah.
Yeah. So you could put a blind person on the horizontal over the earth, and where the earth drops, you could create a drop for them, and they would feel that drop.
Describe drop, please. What do you mean by drop?
Lower elevation.
Lower elevation.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not even blind.
So if you're at the top, hold on a second, ET. So if you're at the top of the lift, and you go lower in elevation, they will know if they are going lower in elevation.
Sure. And according to the globe model, what does elevation mean?
According to the globe model, what does elevation mean?
Yes. How do you describe elevation? How do you measure it? What is it measured in? That kind of stuff. Just so we're both on the same page, please.
So you'd have a horizontal plane, and you would measure whether you're higher or lower than that.
What horizontal plane? Where would you set that horizontal plane?
You would just establish it. You would establish a horizontal plane.
How?
How would you establish a horizontal plane?
Yes.
With plumb lines.
That's a vertical, isn't it?
Yeah, so you had to make sure 2 plumb lines are parallel.
Plumb lines are parallel. Okay, I'm with you so far. Yep.
Yeah,
so you get 2 plumb lines. 2 plumb lines.
Got it down? You got it?
2 plumb lines that are parallel, and then you go 90 degrees between. That's ingenious. I quite like that. So what are the plumb lines pointing towards according to the heliocentric model?
The center of the earth.
Right. So you've got these plumb lines pointing towards the center. Carry on.
Yeah, but you can establish a horizontal anywhere in space, in the sky.
Carry on. Describe the change of elevation.
That's how roller coasters are made. They can make the track horizontal if they want to, yes?
Yeah. So you said change in elevation were your words. Describe the change in elevation. When I said describe drop, what do you mean by drop? And you said lower elevation. Now that we understand how you establish horizontal on that horizontal plane, you still haven't actually described at what point that is, which I think would be the best place to start.
So let's say you're on the top floor, and you go to the bottom floor.
What? Yeah, but how do you describe what is higher or lower than the line, is what I'm asking.
Like I just said, you're above or below it.
What's the line? Is that sea level? Is that from the center of the earth?
No. We're just establishing the horizontal.
Yeah. Where's it at? Give me the number. Tell me what it's measured in. Don't just say measure the horizontal. What are you talking about? I've never heard somebody intelligent say that. You just measure the horizontal.
You've never heard of measuring a horizontal plane?
Describe it.
Trying to get to a point.
Right now. Don't just incredulously say it. Show me. Show me what you're talking about. Show me what you got. You're claiming this is a thing that everybody can do, and then I'm like, do it. You're like, you haven't done this before. I've done this before.
So you've never been on a roller coaster before?
No, so you'd feel a change in vector, which would be if you were going downhill or lower elevation. You said, describe lower elevation now with the plumb line.
Well, it's just like a roller coaster, like I just said. If the roller coaster's going along horizontally and then it drops or raises.
If you paused that roller coaster halfway down and held a plumb line in your hand. Where would it point?
Fucking roller coaster.
Where would what?
Yo, mute the guy, dude.
Where would the plumb line point? Would it be horizontal with where you're sitting?
The plumb line would point towards the center of the earth on a ball.
Right. So according to where you're sitting in the roller coaster, will it point down towards your seat or forwards towards the earth?
No, we're just going to feel the drop. That's all we're doing.
Right. I'm just asking you an
So a blind person can know if the earth is curving.
Yeah, but I'm just asking you an extra question about this. You brought up plumb lines before, right? If we pause the roller coaster,
that's what a surveyor would use to establish a horizontal. I'm not a surveyor, but all I'm saying is that if you wanted a blind person to
elevation,
if you wanted a blind person to know if the earth was curving, you could just get them to feel the drop.
You could feel the drop. Okay.
Like
so
in a lift. Like when you're in a lift, keep on. So when you're in a lift, do you feel the drop?
Yes, I feel that change in speed.
Right.
Change in vector.
Right.
It's weird. It's unnerving. You know
There
what I've done?
So that's what I'm talking about. So you don't have to have your eyes to feel that, right?
Since I'm eulogizing my dad, he didn't like me much as a kid, I'm pretty sure. But what he did like is that I loved going in the fucking plane. I would go in the plane at any fucking excuse. And when we were in the plane, I'd regularly go, Dad, can we go weightless? And he would look around and he would do a check on the radio. And then he would go, get ready. And you would unclip your belt and he would just go, bow! Like he would gain altitude first and then go towards the earth. And you would be like, whoa! And you could float around the cabin and try to swim through the air. It was so much fun, right? And I could get him to do it like a lot of flights. If you didn't have luggage and Joanne, if
what a liar, has it? What a liar.
Well, you can find what a liar. He just died last week, Jin. You can check it all out. It's all online. It's all the dirty laundry's going to come out.
Sounds a little unreasonable.
Unreasonable. Just you can check it. You can read it. You can read it.
And yet, if it was one of theirs saying exactly the same thing, they wouldn't be saying this.
I'm not talking about his dad. I'm talking about what he's doing in terms of weightlessness in the plane.
You don't believe it?
Yeah.
It's a liar, honestly.
Okay. Sure, I'll find it.
My dad's a pilot. My dad's a pilot. My dad's a pilot.
Hold on, Chin. Hold on, Chin. You are calling. Hold on. So you're calling other people liars. Can you justify that in some way? Do you have any good reason? Yeah, but that's just your opinion. We already heard it. You don't need to repeat it. So, do you have anything else than your opinion? But I have also my opinion that you are a liar, Jin. You are also a liar, Jin. You are also a liar, Jin.
Feeling like it would go on a roller coaster. So no, I don't think carrying on at the same speed around a circle with no change in vector, just a circular vector that always felt like it was always pointing the same way. No, I don't think that would feel like a roller coaster or going weightless in a plane. To answer your question, Chemo, no, I think that's a silly idea because as you said yourself, I said, what do you mean by drop? And you said lower elevation.
Looking at your ass, you haven't got a clue. And you ride a motorbike. You'd notice it more. You ride a motorbike. You're supposed to be a motorbike rider. You'd notice it. You're a motorbike rider. You'd notice it.
You're not being talked to, Jin. Shut up,
Jin.
You'd notice it.
What's wrong with Chemo saying lower elevation?
Can anybody hear the cognitive dissonance? Like he just goes from 0 to a million when the
You're
cognitive.
You're a motorbike rider.
That's a good point. The moment he realizes it's a good point, he's like, motorbike rider.
No, not at all.
I swear I'm going to hear you have a heart attack.
Not at all.
Breathe through your nose, Jin.
Absolutely.
I don't want you to die. I quite like you.
Yeah.
I reckon we'd get on really well. We'd go for such a good ride.
You're a motorbike rider, so your senses are going to be kicking in.
You're
going to notice. You're going to notice the earth spinning. You're an idiot. You're an idiot.
He's not a teacher, is he? Oh my God! Oh,
I didn't mean that.
God, you'd want to shoot yourself if you're one of his bloody students.
So you said lower elevation, Chemo. Describe what you mean by lower elevation according to the heliocentric model. He's going to just disappear again, isn't he? Every time I get to the final question.
Yeah.
He knows this is
But
wrong.
I've got to go
He
make a
knows
cup of
it requires
tea.
a change in
I'm
elevation.
making a cup of tea. I had to
Well,
go
what was
to
the
toilet.
issue? Like lower elevation, higher elevation, whatever's higher and lower. That's what he meant, I'm pretty sure.
Higher or lower than what? From exactly as he described it, the circumference of the globe. Therefore, where is the change in elevation if we are spinning around the circumference of the globe? He knows there's no change in elevation.
Why would there be no change in elevation?
It's just this misunderstanding, but he understands it because he said plumb lines. So he took us there the whole way. He understands it, but then he gets to the end and his brain just goes boop, boop. But then he runs away and he comes back.
Have you not heard of force the line?
I think you took it out of context, dude.
Well, has he not heard of force the line? So if we know that it's if you want to say that it's pointing towards the Earth, we can force it so it's not pointing towards the Earth, and we can have a straight horizontal. Did you not know about that? Eggshells, have you not heard of force the line? Where you force the horizontal, where you said if it points towards the center of the Earth, you can account for that and make sure that your track is completely horizontal.
Track? What are you talking about?
Yeah, your roller coaster track. If we're building a roller coaster track over the sea for a blind person so they can detect the drop. Oh, 1 second.
Right. There's a roller coaster with a blind person on it again. Okay, with you. Yep.
Wait. Chemo. Can a blind person know they're going up? Like up the stairs or something? Or is it an escalator?
Yeah, how about that? Specifically,
of course they can.
in
Of
an
course
elevator.
they can.
They can.
Of course they can. Yes, of course they can.
Okay.
Yeah, because when you're sitting down and then the elevator begins to ride upwards, all your bodily functions and elevator, you said, didn't you?
No, I said escalator. Let's just go with stairs. Why not just stairs? Or maybe a slight hill, if that's too complicated.
Yeah, a blind man would notice it. A blind man's senses, because he can't see, so his other senses compensate and more senses.
Has anybody ever been
definitely
stuck
would
in
know.
Sorry for interrupting you there, Jin. Has anybody ever been stuck in a lift and at some stage been like, is it moving, and needed to check yourself for a moment? And what you're kind of feeling for is the bump and rattle rather than the up and down sensation. Has anybody had that in a lift?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've done that many a time in England, yeah.
Right. Okay. So what would that feel like according to this rotation of the Earth? If that's us going up and down, i.e. changing elevation, quite drastically.
You're talking about the speed of sound, 1,036 miles per hour, or 1,037 miles per hour to be exact.
Right, right.
That's faster than the speed of sound. That's
Tell me
something
about the
you're
fast
going to
trains.
notice. Please remember that you've got the Concorde that was there flying at supersonic speeds. So you're going to notice it on the Earth. You're going to notice it. If you've ever traveled at 180 miles an hour on a motorbike, you will know exactly what I mean, okay? Please try that.
What would it feel like?
Guts.
What would it feel like?
It's fucking hard work is what it is. No room for error. You're hanging on for dear life. You're looking like an eagle at the net. You're looking miles ahead and at the same time very close so you don't get knocked off your bike. You take the corner, you're hanging on. You're being buffeted and collided with the wind and the pressure. Your jacket, your leather jacket is flapping in the wind, okay? It is not fucking safe at all, all right?
Yeah,
So,
I'm riding
I've not ridden my bike.
That's at 180 miles an hour.
That's a very good description.
Yeah, thank you. That's
When I'm riding on my bike, I never have my leather jacket unzipped.
No, it's not.
Sorry,
it's zipped up. You're talking from the shoulders. It's zipped up and buttoned down, but the shoulders are because you're really gunning it. Yeah, the wind is trying to rip the jacket off your shoulders.
So when you say you'd notice it, when you say you'd notice it, how would you notice it?
You'd be flung off the Earth for a start.
You'd be thrown off.
How would you stay on the Earth?
Yeah, what's the matter with this guy? Fucking idiot.
Well, how would you stay on the Earth? You'd spin it.
You'd be thrown off the Earth.
Yes.
It would be impossible to ride a motorcycle. According to our model, it would be impossible to ride a motorcycle because you would be thrown off the Earth. Is that what you said?
Yeah, in reality, if the Earth were really spinning, you would be flung off.
Chemo, could I just let Jin finish and then we'll hear from you, if that's okay?
Well, Chemo's on the same length. He can talk. It's okay. He's on the.
But could you explain that?
Exactly what I say.
Please
carry on, Chemo. Thank you.
Yeah, we're saying that if you spin something, if you spin a ball, then the water, if you put like on a tennis ball, for example.
I'm not talking to you, Chemo.
Spin the tennis ball with the water
I'm not listening to your question,
come on,
Chemo.
Come on then, if you must.
I'm having a conversation with Jin, Chemo.
Okay, come on then.
When I say, when I asked, when you'd say you'd notice it, how would you notice it? You said you'd be thrown off the earth.
You'd be thrown off the earth. Chemo's got it precisely correct. You'd be thrown off the earth.
Can I ask you, is that you saying to me, according to the heliocentric model, if you rode a motorcycle at 180 kilometers or created the Concorde, you would be thrown off the earth, and that disproves
on top of the plane, yeah. Not in the
okay.
You think our model
if the earth was a
motorcycles don't exist?
Can we answer your question now? If the earth
Grass does not interject chemo.
So you tell Chemo to answer for you, but you don't agree with what Chemo said. So now you've got to burst in and tell your side of the story.
I'm not disagreeing with Chemo at all. In fact, walking on eggshells insisted that I answered the question. So that's what I'm going on. Shut up, you silly moo. You're an idiot. Now, here we go.
Yeah, you are.
As far as what you said is incorrect. If you're on the top of a fuselage of a supersonic Concorde, you're going to be thrown up, are you not?
Exactly.
You're on the fuselage on the outside, just going at supersonic speeds. You're going to be thrown up, are you not? Are you not?
Could I summarize what you're saying? According to the heliocentric model.
Please don't summarize what I'm saying, because you get it wrong every time. Just take what
just like you do when you're talking about what we say. So
I'm going to try to get it right, if that's okay. And what I would invite you to do, Jin,
and going at supersonic speeds.
Agree with you. If I get it wrong,
can you sit on it? Can you stand on it? Can you stand on the fuselage of an aircraft? Can you stand on it, or would you be blown off?
I'd love to answer any of those questions.
I rest my case, Your Honor.
I'd love to ask you a question if I could, Jin.
Address what I asked you before you ask that question.
Sure. It sounds like what you're saying.
Standing, I'll ask you one more time. Can you remain on a supersonic jet airplane traveling at twice the speed of sound, or even just a single speed of sound? Can you remain standing?
Allow the men to respond, Jin.
I think my answer would be no. Would that be the same as you, Jim?
That would be the same as me, no. Right. So now, imagine you are on the earth spinning supposedly at 1,036 miles an hour at the equator, which is faster than the speed of sound. Tell me how you.
In relation to what, though, Jin?
Tell me what I would notice about
as a spinning ball.
Tell me, Jin, what would I notice about standing on the outside of a jet going twice the speed of sound? Tell me about some of the things I would experience.
You would just be, you know what would happen is the wind would force your mouth open and you're being blown up at the same time. You'd have no time to think, no time to react.
Wind would, I would agree.
Blown away.
Wind. So let me write that question down. What would you feel?
The atmosphere.
And you said wind. So the wind, the atmosphere
would force your mouth open, would push your eyes into the sockets. Yeah. So you would be in trouble. You could be, in fact, you'd be dead, really.
The atmosphere.
But what if you weren't facing toward the wind?
Hang on, please. Sorry. The atmosphere would push into my mouth and push me off the plane. I agree with you. So if I was on a plane traveling through the atmosphere, because the atmosphere is still, and that is what the plane is getting lift by moving through, I would feel blowing back in my face if I was going faster than at a high speed through the atmosphere. I would absolutely agree with that. But then if I was on a motorbike, the only thing I would feel is the 180 kilometers that I was driving, because the atmosphere is in the sphere.
180 miles, and that's 300 kilometers, please. 300 kilometers.
Sorry, 180 miles. I'm going to go back and delete that K.
Yeah, 80 miles an hour. It's 300 kilometers. Thank you.
Yeah.
300 kilometers.
That's very quick. I thought 180 was quick. That's fucking nuts.
Thank you.
I don't go.
Thank you.
It's not. I think we would have really good bonding moments over motorcycling, Jin. Have you watched my YouTube channels? Either of them? Like I've written in three contexts. We would get
Come
on
on,
real
Ryden,
well,
stick to the subject. Stick to the subject. We're not socializing.
Sure,
Spinning ball.
Really well. Sure.
Spinning ball.
So
spinning ball.
because we're leaving chemo out.
No. Go back to Jin. Go back to Jin. Let's not socialize. You want to socialize? We can make a social room if you need.
Chemo.
So I
spinning ball. Yeah.
I think what you would feel, Jin, if you're on that motorcycle, according to the Helio model, is the atmosphere staying still, such that if a jet moved through it at high speeds, it would blow you off the wing in the way you describe, pulling your mouth open.
Yeah, you couldn't be on your motorbike at those supersonic speeds. You couldn't be on it. You couldn't survive.
But the atmosphere is what you're describing causing it, whereas the atmosphere is still when you're standing still. Would we agree with that?
Well, because the Earth is not spinning. We're on a flat Earth.
No, according to the Helio model. According to the
Helio model, that does not exist.
Exactly.
That's the point. That we haven't got no curvature, no spin. We're in the vacuum of space.
What are you talking about? A model?
According to that model,
we were
I
talking
cannot
about a
prove.
single thing, and now you're suddenly mentioning curvature again.
You're asking me to believe something that doesn't exist.
We were talking about a really specific thing. We'd been talking about it for about half an hour, and you were suddenly on to 5 other things. Did I say it happened?
You were getting too.
Yeah,
Right?
that's the model that doesn't exist.
The heliocentric model hasn't been proven.
Exactly.
The flat Earth
and he's got to yell.
I will always speak from the flat Earth. If you want me to speak about the heliocentric model, it's an imaginary thing.
Exactly.
It's imaginary.
The reification fallacy.
It's not real. Okay? Thank you.
Jim, when was the last time you checked your blood pressure?
He gets awfully upset, doesn't he?
I am a man who is super fit. That's why. I exercise to the extreme. I put myself through pain.
I don't
That's why
care.
I can tell. Okay?
You run out of breath talking, Jin. What the fuck are you talking about?
Daily heart rate check. I check it daily.
I bet you that blood pressure's fucking sky high, though.
The eggshells, I mean, look, what evidence and, I mean, what's your position?
When you're as fit as I am, you have that power. It's called maintenance.
What's your
It's
position?
called exercising.
All right,
It's
Jin.
called being happy.
All right.
All right, Jin. Fucking hell.
Ooh, he's getting upset.
Earther.
Okay,
That's what it means.
Okay, let's get the evidence for this this globe. So, Riley, you're defending this rotation, or is it just an idea, just a model?
Am I defending the rotation?
Yeah, is it just a model? Is it just, or is it reality?
Is what?
Rotation of the Earth, moving Earth.
I don't know what you mean by model in that context, but I would say yes. I think it's probable we are on a sphere that is rotating. If it's rotating, it must be a sphere. If it's a sphere, it must be rotating.
What is the evidence for rotation then?
It just seems more probable than anything you've presented.
It just seems. Where's the evidence?
More
seems is not the word. Where's the evidence?
No, where's your evidence?
Lunar and
so it's just
solar
a statistic
eclipses
that you think.
Yeah, lunar and solar eclipses are pretty compelling. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of different reasons. A lot of different compelling reasons. I've done very little measurement.
There's no evidence of a spinning globe.
I haven't. Is there evidence? It depends.
Most
what do you mean when
certainly
you say evidence? What would you mean when you say evidence?
Well, has anyone ever seen the Earth move?
Call evidence?
Has anyone ever seen the Earth move?
Is that the way is that the measure of evidence?
I'm just saying, the first thing would be, has anyone ever seen
I'm asking you a simple question. Is that the measure of evidence?
No,
it is your bloody model.
That's just a starting point.
It's your model.
Just a starting
I
point.
love the way you tell us what we think our model is. You've got no idea what our model is.
It's totally unacceptable. It seems. Please provide the evidence.
Hold on, Jin. Hold on, Jin.
Please provide jumping to tears.
You said it seems that way.
The siren.
So we're just going to go through the list, like of evidence.
Siren.
So has anyone seen the Earth? Has anyone seen the Earth move? Has anyone seen the Earth move, eggshells?
What do you mean by evidence?
We have. Yes, we've seen it.
No, I'm just asking if Eggshell knows. I know you know, Veach, but does Eggshell know of anyone who's seen the Earth move?
I've watched the sunset. I've watched the Milky Way.
You've seen the sun move? Yeah, you've seen the Milky Way move? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sure, yeah.
Okay, but what about the Earth? Has anyone seen...
to go east to west, huh?
Has anyone seen the Earth move?
So they all seem to go east to west, huh?
Yeah, we see
Would you
things in
agree
the
or
sky move.
We've had satellite vision. We've had satellite captures of Earth moving. Stationary
Excellent.
satellites.
Do you agree with that,
Always
Eggshells?
going the same way, always getting all of the shadowing right, always getting all of the local weather effects, including bushfires right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You could be right, but I don't think you are.
Well, can you show me then that the Earth is moving then? Or do you just have a fire?
A fire?
You said a fire. You said a bushfire tells you the Earth is moving.
What I mean is that satellites and the ISS and things were picking it up as it was happening on Earth was pretty compelling because they were able to map that against the ground. I had to ride through that. P.S. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's riding on eggshells.
So a satellite that saw fire that you rode through proves the Earth is moving.
Satellites don't exist.
No, you're saying you're saying a picture of fire that
the plane photos match
Objection,
up.
Your Honor.
Isn't that
Satellites
interesting?
don't exist.
Evidence,
Isn't it
please,
interesting
Jin.
that it matches up with? Sure, yeah.
Objection, Your Honor.
All over
Satellites
the
do not
place.
exist.
Objection, Jin. Evidence, please.
But you don't have any evidence of a moving
You're
Earth.
going to
then,
need to
basically.
provide the
Objection,
It's not
your
your
turn,
anything
Jin.
then.
You do not have a globe to start off
Objection,
with
Jin.
that is spinning in space. So how can you
I
have
believe
a
you.
Having a
Thank
tantrum
you.
again, Jim.
Yeah.
Bushfire smoke. There's one. That's interesting.
The bushfire proves that the Earth is spinning.
Is that what I said?
Well, that's
Or
what
are
you
trying to
answered. I
change
asked you
it
for
to
the
make it
evidence.
seem like-
I asked you for
are you
evidence.
trying to
You
make
said
it seem like
bushfire.
that's what I said?
That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying.
Timo,
That's
actually,
what
I
you're
want to teach
saying.
I want to teach you both a game. The game is copy their words. Okay? I'm going to play it and you're going to play it and everybody else is going to be a judge of who can do it better. Right?
So I asked you a question about Earth rotation evidence, and you said burning fires in Australia.
Yes, correct. Well done. Yep.
So burning fires prove the Earth is moving.
No, you fail. I didn't say prove.
That's what you offered it up.
Okay,
That
so
was your
let's
offer.
try again
that
then.
Was your offer.
You started talking about riding. Let's try again. What is the evidence? Well, first of all, has anyone seen it moving? I think you said. I don't know what you said. What did you say?
We most certainly have.
Someone else answered for you. Yeah. So, do you know of anyone who has seen the Earth moving?
What do you mean by seeing the Earth moving?
Seeing the Earth moving.
Spinning.
Does the Earth
the
move?
Thing we're on, do we see the thing we're on spinning? Is that what you mean?
Well, there you go.
What would that look
Rotating.
like?
Of any kind at all. There you go.
What would it look like?
Rotating
I, in fact,
Earth.
made a video of what it would look like. Here we go. Now I'm going to have to dox myself.
Just moving. Does the Earth move in any kind of way?
Yeah. I've made a video.
Earthquakes.
This is the proof I made for it that I think is actually a pretty fucking good proof. That can.
What, that the Earth moves? Einstein couldn't do it, but you can do it. Okay, please, let's have it.
So you're seeing the Earth spin in this video?
I'm going to show that. You can just watch the video. It's very short.
I know, but I'm just saying before I watch it, is this you watching? Very difficult, Jim. Continue. Very difficult for Ball Earther position. Make wild claims, outrageous claims. So hard life being a
like
Earther.
your claim you were doing an experiment the other day with spuds. Do you remember that, Chemo?
Yeah, I did it on you. You're the only spud in here, and you failed.
Chemo.
You're saying you experimented upon me.
Yes.
That sounds illegal.
Well, failed. The results are in.
Why doesn't the sun change size if the Earth is still? That proves that the Earth is spinning. No, it doesn't.
Evidence of the Earth spinning.
Oops.
Deep Space Climate Observatory satellite. Hello. Goodbye.
Go on then. Give us a look then.
So it's a 1 minute 30 video, and I just show why I think that's pretty compelling evidence for rotation.
What is that? They're going to say, CGI.
Lots
it's
of
CGI.
compelling stuff in the world, but it's not proof. It's not evidence.
You haven't got any evidence for the flat Earth, okay, Max?
Well, you won't answer the
show us
question, what
something?
is evidence? If you could answer that question, we could have a real good conversation. When you say evidence, what is and what is not? Is a photograph evidence? That's a question I'll
Evidence
ask
is
you.
concrete proof.
Well, I mean,
Is a photograph evidence?
You just have to be able to repeat.
We just have to be able to repeat? Is it scientific? Is that what you said?
I'm thinking what's not repeat.
I'm thinking what's not repeatable.
I don't know how this thing proves the Earth is moving, by the way.
We're playing the game, repeat what the other person says. Go on. I said, is a photograph evidence? And you said, we just have to be able to repeat, is it scientific? I'm thinking
You
about
said a photograph, so could we repeat that photograph? Probably not. So that's not good evidence. Maybe if you could repeat it, I could repeat it, the people here could repeat it, and the people you know could repeat it.
You're mad.
That would be good evidence. But if just a small group, small company are the only ones who can take images, then no, that's not good evidence. That's very bad evidence. Imagine it was only the flat earthers that took measurements. Could only get these measurements and observations, right?
So you said if a small company came up with those images, then no, that's good evidence. Would you say the converse of that is also true? Is a wider variety of organizations coming up with images better evidence?
No, because when I say a small company, it's just a small family, small set of people run a lot of businesses. So they're just a small group of people. There's not a lot of them, and they control 99% of all of these other industries.
So could you describe, you would probably therefore know a bit about all of the different players in the space game in order to be able to say that they're a small group of people.
They're just the actors. I don't mean them. They're just the actors. The small group, small families.
SpaceX, small families. Okay, small groups, small families. Is it families working at space places? Most of the time I knew families working.
You're not listening. So you have a small groups. So they're groups of families. Different families.
Families working at NASA and the
No, they're not working at NASA. They hire actors to work at NASA. They pay actors to go. Yeah, they pay everyone to go to this company, another company, and say, "Can you sit there in front of a computer and pretend that things like rockets and satellites are going to space?" They pay them to act.
Hell, if they can pay them
my sister used to work for United Space Alliance, USA, and what they work for the shuttle missions. And my sister is no actor.
Well,
so is he an actor or is his sister an actor? And at what stage did she become an actor?
Sometimes they don't know about their acting roles.
That idea is just ridiculous.
Sometimes they don't know they're acting a role. They're just supporting roles. Okay? And they just
how do you hang on? Do you mean there are people sitting next to one another, one of whom's studied physics to a high level at university, and the other one is, I've been an actor. Amongst the other interesting things about me, I was a Bollywood actor for 5 years. I've been a lead role in huge films. So you're telling me I could play
what Bollywood films have you been
physicist, and a real physicist would be fooled into sitting next to me and working with me day in, day out? You reckon I can trick a physicist?
I don't quite get what you're saying. I don't quite get what you're saying. As I said, it's just a small group. It's just a small set of people.
How do they work next to one another? Where do they sit at lunch? How do they keep everybody from telling one another that we're paid to pretend to be here? How do none of them end up in office romances?
Why would you tell one another?
Party or shitting themselves and then dropping their credentials or something.
Yeah, but you're hired to do a job, not to talk about the conspiracy. You're hired to sit there in front of the computer, not ask questions. You're paid for something.
Okay, how much would I need to pay you to lie like that?
You just get a regular salary because you're a slave.
Compartmentalisation, yeah?
A regular salary, normal wage.
So not everybody knows what they're doing. They only know a little bit.
Half actors. half actual physicists from uni, just in case they happen to be the sister of the bloke who's in chat.
When they go to university, that's them learning their lines.
All the ones I've met.
That's their
all of the other ones are actors
that they're learning. So when they learn their lines at college and university, they know the script well enough that when they get these jobs, they know exactly what to say and what to do. Look at rocket scientists. He studied for a very, very long time learning his lines, and now he sits behind a computer just saying, "Oh yes, I send satellites into space." That's his line. You ask him to present a real satellite. Wow, oh no, wow, that's not in the script. I've only been told to say that we send satellites, we follow the data. That's his lines.
And you believe this. You believe every word you're saying, don't you, Chemo?
Chemo, do they sometimes have to have... I imagine there are some people who believe they're doing real science, right?
Sometimes you get failed actors. Some people drop out of acting school, yeah?
And so do they sometimes have to have a discussion with what they think are their superiors?
No, just learn your lines, that's it. Just if you don't learn your lines, you won't progress. That's it.
So they have a meeting. What lines do you have in a meeting? Because I've been in a lot of meetings. I teach communication skills. Meetings are a live environment. You don't know what's going to happen. If you do, why are you having a fucking
Follow
meeting?
a protocol, yeah?
What?
Follow a protocol. You can't go outside of that protocol. Exactly.
Okay,
so you follow your lines, follow the script, stay
What
within
is
the
he
bounds.
talking about?
Yeah?
Well, that was a load of nonsense.
Make sure you stay within the studio
my
parameters.
goodness.
Don't read your own script. If you start to come up with your own ideas, like you just said, they would laugh and say, "Hey, this guy's he's cuckoo. Get him out of here."
Anyway.
Someone's hot mic.
Chemo, do you own a cell phone?
Not about me.
Do you own a cell phone?
Not about me.
Do you own a cell phone? Answer the
Oh,
question.
he won't answer a question, Renee. Just
Renee, you
don't
need
even
to mute the live stream. We can hear the live stream or echo or something.
He doesn't know how to say yes or no. He's very...
Oh, okay. I've got a question for you, Chemo. Could you describe to me the behavior?
Been thinking.
Could you describe to me the behavior of somebody who is keen to learn something?
So come on, let's get back into it. What's the evidence that any of these
You just got to ask the question, Chemo.
Well, yeah, he's been
Could
thinking.
you describe to me the behavior you would expect to see in somebody who is keen to learn something?
Well, go on and let's hear.
That's a question to you, Chemo.
Go on, let's hear. What's the question?
What is the behavior you would expect to see in somebody who is keen to learn?
What is the behavior? What does that have to do with the shape of the earth? Rotation.
He won't answer a question.
It sounds like you're avoiding answering the question. That is not to me behavior I would expect to see.
Oh, you're derailing, really. I mean, we're talking about rotation and you're avoiding
No,
this
you
very
are.
point.
No, this is a question I've asked you.
Why are
Could
you
you describe
avoiding
to me
the topic?
behavior?
Yeah, that will go off into different avenues. That's a whole different discussion.
Yeah, it's a really relevant discussion.
And what
because
we're
it would
talking
describe,
about is your script, which tells you you're on a board.
Because what would you like me to... Okay, let me ask this a different way, Chemo. How would you like me to behave when it comes to listening to, researching, watching videos, etc., flat Earth materials? Should I research flat Earth? Would you say that? Should I do my research?
What you should do is go out there and provide the evidence, find the evidence, and provide the evidence of the claim of spinning, curving ball.
Find the evidence. Great. Okay. So that's one thing I would absolutely agree with. When I said to you, what is the behavior you would expect to see from somebody who is interested in learning? You said, go out there and find evidence, and I 100% agree. Let's describe some other behaviors of what we would expect to see from somebody who's interested. Do my research as well, I think. Should I do my research? That's how you responded to that. Sorry, that was my question. The first one was a bit of a deflection. So what else would you expect to see from somebody who's interested?
That's all we expect is to do the research and have a look at the research that you've done.
That's all we expect. Should I write that down?
Do the research.
Okay, I'll write that down in relation to go there and find the evidence. That's fine. We do not expect them to do anything else.
There could be other things, but the most important thing is to do the research.
Let's talk about the most important thing. What are the other things?
Could be all sorts of things. Like I say, we're going off away from the topic.
No, I think it's an interesting thing to talk about. For example,
It is
I will believe
interesting.
if most
It's a
people
very
are, if most
fascinating
people are saying
subject,
the same
but
thing,
we're in
yeah,
a
if
discussion
most people
about the
are saying
shape of the
same
Earth. We're looking for evidence of the rotation,
yeah.
and what
And
you're
this is
doing right
exactly how
now
we
is
figured it
not.
out.
So,
You're
well,
avoiding
how would you
every
describe
question
your
put to
behaviour
you. You're
right now?
pathetic, Chemo.
Would you?
Chemo's
I would-
really
somebody
pathetic
How would you
today.
describe your
avoid the
behaviour
topic.
right now? I would say that is not the way to learn. Your behaviour right now. How would you
Oh,
describe
my
this?
behavior right now.
Yes.
Your behavior right now.
Right
Tell
on
me
the
again.
eggshells behaviour.
Is not. Yeah.
Yeah, so
He
the way
says,
you're acting
asking
right now is not the way to
psychological
learn.
questions.
Yes.
I'm ready to continue.
My behavior right now. Can you finish that for me again, Chemo? Sorry, I lost
Right
it.
on the
Something
eggshells.
about
Right on the eggshells. The
Yeah.
way right on the eggshells, acting and his behaviour, not the way to learn.
to learn. Excellent. Thank you for that. Riding on eggshells.
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop. This is not the way to learn. Okay. So the
Okay,
best way to
sure.
learn.
So what would be if that's not the way to? Yeah, the best
Mhm.
way to learn. That's what I was going to ask. Awesome.
Best way is
Okay, this-
research.
Best way is research, right?
Absolutely.
Best way is research. We'll come back to that. Right. Would you use any other methods?
Possibly, but number one is the research.
The number one is research. So can we describe, when you say possibly, can you describe the other ones you use? Because, well, actually, another question, sorry. Is this important that we should do this? That we should be focused on whether someone's learning.
Again,
and
remember what we said
knowing
about your behavior?
behaviors
So
associated.
we're going to have to question a lot of your behavior. This is not the way to learn.
Right. What is not the way to learn? What I'm trying to do is understand the way to learn.
Again,
What you sound
look what you're doing. You've just spoke about
to
this. You're not going to learn like this. This is not the way. Your behavior.
Tell me the way to learn. Awesome. Tell me the way to learn.
Asking questions isn't the way to learn. Did I just hear that correctly?
Asking questions.
No, the way he's doing it though, it's just
asking
not
questions that are not connected to the subject is not
I
the way
studied
to
psychology.
learn. Yes.
I studied psychology. Please allow this conversation to continue.
It is continuing, but I've just told him his behavior is not the way to learn.
not
So he's not going to
authentic.
learn anything this way with this behavior.
Right. So it sounds like you're saying not with this behavior. This is not the way to learn. Again, I'm really open to that feedback.
Look, stop. This behavior, you're not going to learn with this. You've just said it. I've just said it.
He's
You've written it
agreeing
down.
with you, Chemo.
You've written it down.
You're an idiot.
Again, look at this behavior. You're not going to learn anything right on eggshells.
Am I doing it right now?
Right now, stop. You're not going to learn anything with this
Hang on, I
behavior.
was silent then. When was I? Do I do it sometimes when I'm silent?
Stop again. Look, this behavior, you're going to have to wait until you're spoken to.
Is it talking?
Okay?
Is it talking or silent? I've
The
got to
first
wait
thing
until
is
spoken
to
to.
wait
Write that
until you're
down.
spoken to.
Wait
This behavior, look, this is
until
terrible, but
spoken to.
this is the
Yes.
worst
Kim,
behavior.
What are you doing?
Sounds
You're
like
just
my
being
fucking
boring.
childhood. Yeah.
No,
Wait until spoken to. Got it. I should wait until. What else should I do if I want to learn?
Hold
I
on, we
should
have
wait
Walter
until-
Russell.
you
Hello,
haven't been flat
Walter.
earther that wants to
Hold
speak.
on, guys. We've got Walter here. Hello, Walter.
Yeah.
No. This is a question for you, Chemo. It's a really important you answer this question rather than duck out again. Although, if you want to duck out again, that's fine. But
Look,
it is being
this
marked.
behavior,
Do now notice.
eggshells, you are not going
Do
to
now
learn
notice.
a thing.
I'm asking you how to learn, and you are ducking
Not
out
like
of asking
this.
the question.
Not with this
How to learn?
behavior.
Okay, tell me how to learn, please.
I've just told you. Wait until you're spoken
Question is
to.
that
Wait until you're spoken to, and
Okay,
you will start
okay.
to learn.
Ask me that question, Chemo. Ask me that question.
You're not going
Ask
to
me the
learn like
question and
this.
Tell me how to learn. Go and ask me.
we
Go
can
on,
never
ask
get
me.
anywhere
have
because
a-
we're always stuck in these little mini battles.
You have behavior
He
issues.
doesn't let the conversation continue.
Yes, you
I'll
have
answer
behavior
that question.
problems.
You said to me, Harry, tell me how to learn. I would say,
Spiraling now,
fucking
eggshells.
pull up a chair. First, you do it and you repeat it with as high iterations as you possibly can.
Can we
Like
just
you first get
introduce Walter?
No,
Hello, Walter.
I'm answering the question, Chemo. I'm showing you how this is done.
This is
So
very bad behavior right on eggshells. You will not learn
will never
anything
end.
like
Give a
this.
fuck, Chemo.
Shut up, Chemo.
Feels is quite
Shut
good.
it down, gatekeepers.
So here's how I would do it.
Okay,
I would,
so,
if you get a new
Walter.
number,
Shut the fuck up, Chemo.
Walter, how are you, Walter Russell?
if you get a new PIN number, get the PIN number and type it out again immediately, really quickly on something that's the same orientation as the thingy. Do it like 20 times and you won't need
Very
to remember
well,
the
thank
PIN.
you.
Otherwise, you've got to carry that PIN number around in your wallet. Remember that? The first few weeks of having a new card, which is really unsafe. So repetitions is one way to learn. The other one is feedback. Go and find people who are really good at this and get them to give you feedback. I'm answering the question. I'm showing you how to answer the question. Tell me how to learn.
Not with this behavior.
The other thing I would do is like go and find videos and information. And anytime I got information,
it's all research. What I told you.
Research. I would agree with you on that. We would agree.
That's all we do. A bit of research.
You utilize something known as a compositional fallacy.
Cognitive dissonance.
All right, let's hear from Walter now. Let's, Ryder, you're going to have to pause for a minute.
Do you want to answer the question again? Do you want to have a crack at answering the question again?
Come on.
Eggshells, chill out for a minute, man.
Sorry, yeah, fair enough.
Ryder, calm down. Now, Walter Russell, welcome. Hello.
Riding on eggshells, cognitive dissonance.
Sure, yeah, we can talk about it.
Oh, it's a robot.
It's a robot. You just worked that out.
That's why it took you so long to get up on mic, Donny boy. Jesus Christ, man. You think you better be more prepared when you come in now.
It's reasonable if it's not talking about flat Earth or anything about it.
I'm sorry, but riding on eggshells is doing quite well.
He was until his behavior.
Continue.
Yeah, his behavior was a problem. Now, I did tell him research, and then he described research. Now, look, any of those things that you described in the first place, you don't need to do. You don't need to ask anybody else until you've done the research first. So, first of all, you would have your observed phenomena in nature, and then you would conduct science in this manner. So, you would have a predicted cause to an effect, and then you just work from there. You see, now your way is looking for validation off other people. That's not going to give you any knowledge or information just by asking somebody, what do you think of this?
Cause to an effect.
The Earth is flat. Gem server gatekeeps the globe for money.
I like it.
I don't understand it.
Where do you get that program, dude?
You don't ask anyone else, is what you said. You conduct science in this manner. You have a predictive cause and an effect, and then I lost you after that, Chemo. Can you carry on from there?
Yes. So basically doing the research is going out there discovering things in the world, where we are, what we do. Is like I say, we have a look at an observed phenomenon. There's a method.
Is that research or is that
now
science?
he's getting back into his script, aren't you, Chemo? You're feeling more comfortable because you're onto your script now, aren't we?
I think so, yes.
Well, I mean, again, if you want to know if the Earth is moving, what we do is
we were talking about a predictive cause to an effect. You conduct science in this manner.
Yeah, so if we go off into space and we see the Earth moving, we can say, "Whoa, what's causing that?"
We did.
And then we can be like,
so we would do science in this manner. So the best way to test it would be to go up into space. Is that what you're saying?
You gotta see the observed phenomenon, yeah.
Right, and because you can't see the observed phenomenon, tell me a bit about that.
Well, if you can't see it, what are you gonna do? Guess? I'm gonna guess.
It's invalidated at that.
That'd be silly.
Isn't that exactly what we do? We guess
you're gonna guess without seeing it in the first place.
Well, you can't just predict.
Don't we guess everything?
Tell me about you got to see the observed phenomena first, and then you'll predict the cause, right?
When do you do that? I don't do that when I get up in the morning.
That's not doing science. You're not doing science, are you?
Through my day. Why would I need to know that?
Well, when you get up in the morning, there is a.
Why would I not guess about something as vast and?
Well, look. Let's look at the morning. You wake up in the morning. There is an effect. A very strong effect. Now, you might say, what caused that effect? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So we would predict that,
predict a cause isn't caused by its very nature before you've... Okay, sorry, carry on. I interrupted.
We can't get up there and observe it.
Exactly. So
I would say, so what are you going to do? You're going to guess?
Yeah, guess and say, I don't know. That's exactly what I do.
That's good enough.
He's going to guess.
Okay.
How fast is it there? You're going to guess how fast it's spinning as well?
Yeah. I'm going to know. Hang on.
It's not good enough, Shells.
Guessing is not good enough. What would you like? How would you? Guessing's not good enough. Okay, so tell me how you would best measure anything, including up to and including curvature. So tell me about how you would.
Talking about rotation, Earth rotations.
Let's start with cooking.
This isn't just anything, man.
Let's start real simple.
Just compare it to like my cup in the room.
Yeah, how much is in your cup in the room? Right.
Come on, dude. Spinning ball, Earth rotation.
Or are you gonna just?
You can't compare it to that, dude.
Are you gonna guess that the Earth is spinning? Really? That's how your model works. That's your science.
Do I measure or not?
Well, you said you're going to guess. You're going to guess the
Chemo,
speed. You're going to guess.
Chemo, do you own a cell phone?
Oh, it's not about me.
No, he's right. You can't just guess these things. I mean, it's an important question. You want a little more than just a guess.
Okay, let me ask this question then. Can you guess some things?
I can guess that you.
I don't know the lottery. I can try to guess the lottery number. Yeah.
Where do you draw the line between guessing and knowing? Or what is the alternative to guessing? I think is the real question.
I've just guessed that there was something wrong with you. Seriously wrong with you.
What is the alternative to guessing? I'm saying yes, guessing, and you're laughing at that. What are you presenting? What are you presenting?
Then I would guess there's just something wrong with you. My two choices: seriously wrong or just wrong.
Sure. So could you tell me what I should do instead of guessing? What's the alternative to that? I'm not sure if that's
guess again. I guess guess again. Yes.
No. When I said I would just guess,
no. You said no, Wama. Don't guess again. Guess again. Keep on guessing until you get it right. Right, eggshells.
Well, you can't even guess anything at all. You know, even your guesses are wrong, you lot. Jesus.
I stabbed White Knighting for him. He can handle himself, lady.
Guess again, eggshells, yeah? That's what you gotta do.
Exactly. Yeah, you keep guessing. Tell me about the limit. It sounds like what you're saying is sometimes I guess things, sometimes I don't. Or there is a thing other than guessing that I do, and then I laugh with this, which is delightful. When I go, oh, you're just guessing, could you tell me what the alternative is that I should be doing? Oh, delicious. I love you. Oh, cheese on a blueberry. What is the other thing I should be doing, and how do you decide when to do that?
Depends on what you're referring to, though.
Sure. Tell me about some that fit into one camp and some that fit into another so we can build up a heuristic to know which bucket to put them in. Go for it. Oh.
When it comes to the Earth spinning, mic, okay? No. You can't just guess that.
Okay. So what do? What's the alternative?
Go there and I can't observe it. Nothing at that point.
Even when I observe it and measure it, I'm still guessing a bit, aren't I?
What are you?
Aren't I? Like if I go up to my rain gauge at the farm.
Oh, we're talking about the Earth, bro.
I know. Sure. What's wrong with you? Stop guessing the conversation. We are talking rotation. That's not a guess.
So what's the alternative of guess? What's the alternative of guess?
Guess again.
That's the question. No, I'm asking you. You seem like you're laughing at both of them.
You're very funny.
When I say
you don't know, when you look out, you said you don't know what you see. You don't, and all you do is guess if it spins or not, and the speed. Yeah. Really?
Yeah, I did. Yep. What do you do instead of that? You're saying, really? What is the alternative? You're going, really? Why don't you do this other one? What's the other one, Chemo? It's a super simple question.
Look at
Chemo, stop coming up with dumb fuck fallacies all the time.
Why don't you just look at that?
It's not a dumb fuck fallacy.
There's a complete dumb fuck fallacy.
Just look at it.
Look at it. Yeah,
look at
it.
You can touch it, feel it, you can observe it, everything.
You can observe it, you can touch it, you can observe it, yeah. Do you still do some guessing?
Of course.
Look at it.
Do you still do some guessing? Would we say of course?
What are we talking about?
Anything.
Yeah.
You when you want it, when you don't.
No, we're talking about the Earth spinning.
Rotation. Yeah. Stop derailing rather than
that all the way down to like, is this really my child?
Goodness sake.
You could go. You do some. Do you? And you said you
compare the two. It's a non sequitur.
You can look at it. You can touch it. And then I said, do you still do some guessing? And they said yes. I'm like, okay, great.
What are you going to guess? Look at it.
Okay.
So
you look at it.
Look at it.
And then do you know?
You look at it. And you can see if it's spinning or not, right?
Well, if you look at it, it might give you all kinds of ideas to guess at.
Just look
I have to guess about my cup, okay?
Well, you might have to guess. What's it made of? You don't know for sure. You guess about that.
I don't guess about the cup, okay?
Well, what's it made of then, Whammer?
Do you know exactly?
The cup is right here. I don't have to guess about it.
Do you know exactly how? Yeah, exactly. Do you know
The
what
cup
it's
is
made
right
of?
here. I can at least
What's
try.
it made of?
I can at least attempt some type of validation method, but
Oh,
with
you mean
Earth spinning,
guess?
there is none.
You mean guess something? Oh.
I can attempt a validation method, but with the Earth spinning, I can't even get there to even try.
Well, so you understand what we mean by guessing, though, at least.
Right?
Just a non sequitur.
Shells. Why are you so desperate, bro? You already know the Earth is a horizontal
Oh,
plane.
this is getting really boring. Whoever's
I kind of like it, actually.
And I can attempt. So why did you use that word, Whammer? I attempt a validation method rather than I validate. Because I'm saying I would guess. An attempt to me sounds like I'm having a stab, but I'm still kind of.
I have a chance to actually attempt
I've got a better
some
girlfriend.
form of. I'm in proximity to it. You know, you're talking about something you can't get to. You can't even get near. There's no proximity. It's just
right. So let's talk
wild
about,
guessing.
Yeah. So let's talk about the thing that you can touch, and it still seems we're going to have to guess, doesn't it? Is that what you would agree with? If it's a glass, do you still do some guessing? You do that extra step. You've got a validation method. The question now is, do you still do some guessing?
What am I guessing though?
What it's made out of, exactly how heavy it is, how much water is in it, down to what measurement. Would you sometimes
You're equivocating that to the fucking Earth, man.
Yeah.
But hang on, Whammy, you're saying you have to validate everything. So you're not going to get
I
anything
didn't say. I
done.
said he's equivocating that to the Earth.
Yeah.
No, but you're equivocating that to everything.
You see what I'm
that we live
saying?
on.
And I also
So
talked
you're
about
never going to get
proximity.
anything done.
Do you still do some guessing? Is the question.
Does the Earth not make diamonds? Diamonds, gold, silver. The Earth makes the Earth makes these.
Oh God, do we have to listen to Jen again? There's other people in here.
Yes,
isn't
it
there?
does, Jen. We can mine it, so that's enough.
You're an idiot. It's formulated by.
Now we're talking about diamonds.
Earth could make this dome. It could be glass.
Yeah, you just turn them right down. Seriously,
we can mine the shit, and we can get it.
so much
So the
better.
Earth does. So shut the fuck up.
Let them get through it, for fuck's sake. We all can have a voice.
From the materials that make your nail, for example.
He just
Look at your
changed
nail.
Whammer.
Take your nail. For
Sorry, I missed
Jen.
Veach's explanation on the Earth spin. What was the answer? What was the did he say anything? Rotation.
Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question, Whammer?
Oh,
No, you cut everybody off.
We do
These
radio
guys
from
finish.
Earth turn, are we? Earth turn is a very important factor of the heliocentric model. Now, obviously, if it's spinning and we're wrong, then obviously you want to see that we're wrong. Any chance of seeing that we're wrong, or is it that we're right? We're correct to say the Earth doesn't move.
Would you still do some guessing? Would be my question.
Well,
right, because
again,
we can
the
measure
Earth
the
doesn't
rotation.
move because if it moved, we would fly off, get flung off. Do you understand? Flung off.
Yeah. Yeah.
You only get flung off if you believed the heliocentric model and never understood it. That's why you think you get flung off.
It's not the
That's
case.
why
Interesting that they think that people that can make those algorithms that I posted before, their model predicts that we would fly off the Earth, even though they're sitting on the Earth to write the model.
The model you have made does not.
Oh,
the
I'll tell
reality
them
we
this
live.
is crazy.
That hasn't been validated.
Does not.
Sure, it may not have been validated. I don't know what validated means.
There's no
Nobody's-
validation.
Validated the dome. No one has been to the dome, so no one has validated it.
Honestly,
So
it's invalidated.
No one's
as
been to the moon.
At the
Nobody's been to
moment.
the bottom of the ocean, but I still can guess about it. Can I know?
Yeah.
No, but can I make
Like
guess?
They've been to the bottom of the ocean. They have been already. August Pascard's son and the
Oh, that's
American
fake
Navy.
news. You
in
believe
Guam,
them?
They did it in Guam.
Jesus.
Exactly,
That's
Shell.
fake,
Let them finish, brother.
I turned him way too.
Shallow
You've got
word.
11 kilometers
Shout
of
out
water
Advanced
sitting
Stars,
upon you.
Gaza Mamanu,
That's a lot of pressure.
We gotta let each other finish.
Salty Muppet Muppet.
Yeah, we gotta let each other
They are
finish.
Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, whoever's doing that's, you know, shutting everyone up. So I'd say keep doing it. Whoever's doing that.
Well, anyway, now basically, why do you want no one to speak? That's the problem here. People are not allowing anyone to speak.
Jen. Can you tell us about your motorcycle riding? Tell us about going 300 kilometers an hour. That's crazy. Tell me about that.
Yeah, that's right. It's beautiful.
Oh
it's
no!
Beautiful
don't get him started. Jesus Christ.
What bike?
Yeah. Anyway, no, I won't talk about motorbikes. I want to deal with the flat Earth thing and this spin of the Earth. That we don't feel the Earth spinning because the Earth isn't spinning. You see, that's the thing.
What do you think it would?
Jen, can I just ask you a very quick question? Why? And I'm going to say this.
If you let him finish after you ask him.
No, but he just said, so I'm going to ask him.
You don't have to let him finish though. Once you ask him.
No. I have
we could sit here and do this all day, but you got to let someone finish.
I have to ask halfway through, and I'm going to say,
I can just cut you off. It's not fun.
Is why in the fuck would you expect to feel the Earth spinning? What say you?
Because we're talking speeds at the. We're talking about speeds at the equator faster than the speed of sound. I don't know what human wouldn't notice that. I just don't know. Okay?
Because the air's not moving past us like it is if you're standing
That's
on a plane.
bullshit. That's absolute horse manure, I'm afraid.
It is moving past us like we're moving on a plane?
If this Earth was spinning at 1,037 miles per hour at the equator, we
1,047, but anyway.
We would know that. We notice it when we have earthquakes. We notice the Earth move when we have earthquakes.
At least earthquakes are real.
So we would know. Believe me.
We notice a change in vector or speed or elevation. Yeah, but moving at the same elevation.
Believe in a downward vector either.
Yeah. We would know.
But we all agreed we sometimes stand in a lift and don't know whether we're going up or down or if it's stuck.
We would know that the Earth was spinning at 1,036 miles an hour at the equator. We're talking faster than the speed of sound. I don't think you realize that.
Jen.
It's faster than some bullets.
Okay, let's describe then, Jen. What is the speed of sound?
The speed of sound travels at over 700 miles per hour.
Right.
I thought it was 360 feet a second, which could be about the same.
I didn't mean
sound waves.
Speed. I said, what do we mean? Sorry, yeah, I misasked that question. Beg your pardon. I mean, when we say the speed of sound, what is that?
It's in the words itself. How fast speed travels
through a medium, right? You forgot the through.
Exactly.
Sound travel.
Even on a rainy day, it's still traveling. Yes.
So when people are traveling in the Concorde, when people were traveling in the Concorde, Jen, were they able to talk to one another?
Let's put those people on top of the fuselage, like I asked you before. Sit on.
Oh God, he's another one that doesn't answer questions.
You wouldn't be. You agreed. You agreed to be dead. You